They'd say he's pretty happy then. That was Mark Robins speaking to the Stoke City YouTube channel. Perry, I'm going to say it's well deserved. He hasn't even been there that long. He's already got a new contract, but he's turned things round so drastically in a short space of time.
Yeah, very much so. I think he's one of those, man. He's learned his trade. Obviously, we knew the brilliant job that he did at Coventry. And I think he's just kept things very simple. I've said about, obviously, the back four, you know, how tight that they are. And I think as well, the whole club, Stoke has had its turmoil in the past. With John Coates, who's the owner, going down to John Walters, obviously, who's the sporting director, and then to Mark Robins, they all seem to be on the same page. You know, there's a togetherness there, and I think John Coates, the owner, looked at Mark Robins and thought, yeah, we've got to tie him down, because he sees the really good job that he's done, and he's getting the sign of a good manager, Hugh, is, are you getting the best out of the group of players that you have? And he is getting the best out of this group of players collectively and individually. And I said about away from home, they've won 4 championship games away from home already. That's exactly the same amount as what they won in the whole of last season. Yeah. So again, you can tell that there's a resilience about this Stoke side.
What do you expect from them this afternoon? Because the key thing for them is to bounce back from defeat. There haven't been many of those so far, but I guess the test of great size is that they immediately respond. Yeah,
very much so. I think you won't see a team that just sits back, you know, and tries to hit on the counter-attack. Dance and myself saw Leicester at Millwall when Leicester, they were outworked and out-muscled. So Stoke will try and impose themselves on this Leicester side. And I said before, I'm looking forward to see Mubama play up front. You know, young player with a lot of ability, a lot of potential. Got 2 goals for England under-21s against Slovakia in midweek. So he's a player that's full of confidence, and he'll fancy his chances and set up against Vestergaard and Belfast, because they're lacking that little bit of pace.
OK, we'll head to the commentary now. The players making their way out to the pitch at the King Power Stadium. Remember, Game Day Live for you over on Talksport. Adrian Durham takes you around the grounds. 5 Premier League kickoffs, including Liverpool against Nottingham Forest. Download the Talksport app. You can move seamlessly between both networks. Remember the Steel City Derby tomorrow on Talksport 2. Wednesday against United, a midday kickoff. But right now, it's Leicester versus Stoke at the King Power with former Arsenal winger Perry Groves and Talksport's Ian Danter.
Thank you, Hugh, and a very good afternoon to you, wherever and however you're listening to TalkSport 2. The second half of our Midlands Derby doubleheader about to get underway here at a wet and windy King Power Stadium. 12th against 3rd at the start of the day, and many might have thought relegated Leicester would be top 3 with pretty much a third of the season completed, and that the somewhat perennial second-tier side Stoke might be mid-table, but quite the opposite, as former Leicester playoff winner Mark Robins has guided the Potters into a position they have rarely found themselves in during their previous 7 campaigns at this level. That's been reflected in the 3.5-year extension that we were just talking about, that's been given to Mark Robins for his contract and all his coaching staff yesterday. The Foxes, meantime, have bounced between the top 2 divisions in English football over the past few seasons, and being as they are 4 points off the top 6 has led to a few dissenting voices here in the East Midlands, against the ownership mostly. But Marty Cifuentes is under scrutiny. That scrutiny eased a little with a first win in 6 at Norwich before the international break, while Stoke narrowly lost to leaders Coventry a fortnight ago, live on Talksport 2, after 3 straight league wins prior to that. Team news: Leicester are still without their first choice keeper Jakub Stolarczyk with a groin problem. So Asmir Begovic keeps his spot and faces the club he first played for 15 years ago and once scored for too. 3 changes in all for Leicester. Ben Nelson is injured, Akoli and Ayew are dropped. In come Fass, Thomas and Mavididi. 1 change for Stoke. Lewis Baker picked up a knock 2 weeks ago against Coventry. He's not recovered full fitness, so Thomas Rigo, the Slovakian, comes into midfield for the Potters' only change. So for Stoke, Begovic in goal, Pereira, Vestergaard, Fass and Thomas the back 4, Winks and Skip holding, then Fatawu, James and Mavididi behind Daka. For Stoke, Johansson in goal, Shamadou, Phillips, Wilmot and Cresswell their back 4, Pearson and Rigo then holding, with Manhoof, Bai and Thomas behind Mubama in attack. We're sat at the back of the West Stand, Perry and myself here at King Power Stadium. The dugouts directly down beneath us. Stoke fans in the northeast corner away to our far left-hand side. There's about 3,300 of those that have made the trip across to King Power Stadium, and Leicester in all blue get us underway. They're kicking towards the north stand away to our left in this first half. Stoke in their red and white striped shirts, but also white shorts and socks to go with that. Ricardo Pereira tries to feed the ball down the right hand side for Jordan James. It's out of play for a throw. I will keep you updated with goals going in elsewhere in all the 3 o'clock kickoffs. Earlier today, wins for Chelsea in the Premier League, wins for Bristol City, Southampton and the leaders Coventry. You heard that live on Talksport 2. Bai Jun-ho works the ball to Manhoef as Stoke come forward for the first time. Manhoef into the area, drives it into two players, Skip and Thomas, who are defending. And then Leicester end up winning a throw in their left-back position. Just to recap what else happened, Exeter-Burton was postponed, the lunchtime game after that fire at the St James Park Stadium in Exeter. Plymouth won at Port Vale, Gillingham and Barnet drew one apiece, and Walsall are back on top of League 2 after winning at Harrogate. But loads more goals to come. There's 5 Premier League 3 o'clock kickoffs, and I'll keep you updated with all that's going on there. And I've got Perry Groves along for the ride as well.
Yeah, just look at Leicester City, dance. They've obviously lined up in that 4-2-3-1 system. Mavididi is on the left-hand side for Tyrell over on that right-hand side with Daka up front.
Here is Divine Mubama in the form of his life. Divine Mubama on loan from Manchester City, came through the academy there, having started at West Ham. Hat-trick against Bristol City and 8 goals in 10 for club or country, and he's won his team a corner for Stoke City on that south stand side away to our right, 0-0.
Yeah, corner for Stoke on their right-hand side, just trying to create a little 2v1.
Well, Cresswell
situation.
and Manhoef are there. It's Cresswell that's going to send it in, a left-footed in-swinger from the right-wing position for Stoke City. And then he plays it short to Manhoef, works it back to Sorba Thomas, right-hand corner of the area, drilled it low into the box, but cleared away on the half-volley by Leicester. But Ben Pearson picks it up, scheming his way down the left-hand side for Stoke. Bai Jun-ho down the left-hand side of the area, pulls it back and flicked goalwards by Rigo in space, trying to play it with the outside of his right boot. Comfortable save in the end for Asmir Begovic, 0-0 with 2 minutes gone.
Yeah, didn't have that conviction from Rigo there. Bai Jun-ho did really well, get himself free on that left-hand side, just cut it back. And I think maybe Rigo should be going with his left foot dance rather than the outside of his right foot. Just gets a little bit of purchase on it, then goes through to Begovic in Leicester's goal.
Bai out to Sorba Thomas. And Bai's gone again for the return, the Korean, down the left-hand side, keeps it in play, faced up by Harry Winks, down to the dead ball line, rolls it back to Cresswell. He rolls his foot on the ball, swings across into the near post, and it's volleyed clear by Fass at the near post. Comes back to Thomas, now in the centre of the Leicester half, into the feet of Mubama, back to goal at the edge of the area, fighting for possession with James, who wins it back for Leicester. Winks feeds it up to Daka, midway point of his own half, and it's cleared away by Leicester up to halfway, but quickly Shamadou in to stop Mavididi getting a touch on the ball. 3 minutes gone on Talksport 2, 0-0.
Yeah, Leicester moving the ball around nice and quickly, just winning it back. Jordan James there from Mubama, who should be holding it up for Stoke City. It just seems weird with Begovic in goal for Leicester and they're playing against Stoke.
He once scored for Stoke, the longest goal ever scored, 97 yards out at the Bet365 when he was a player for 5 years in the Potteries. I think his goalkeeping academy's set up there as well, Asmir Begovic. Still got ties to the area, but he's playing for the opposition today. But Stoke are coming forward towards his penalty area. Bai Jun-ho, left-hand corner of the box. Fass is there with him, trying to clip it down the left-hand side of the area. And it was caught betwixt and between both Mubama and Thomas and just trickles over the dead ball line for a Leicester City goal kick. 4 minutes gone, 0-0.
Already you can see with Stoke City, dance, obviously Mubama playing up front, he was the one who was trying to link up play. Bai Jun-ho has got the licence just to drift all over the place, so he's going laterally right across the pitch. He's ended up in the inside right position, inside left position, but he's just got to make sure when he finds that bit of space he picks the right pass, where there he's just trying to roll it into Mubama, just weren't on the same wavelength, born out for a goal kick.
Leicester 0, Stoke 0. First goal's gone in the 3 o'clocks in the Championship at St Andrews. Birmingham City 1, Norwich City 0. Marvin Dukes, I think that's his first goal, the German, for Birmingham City, celebrating their 150th anniversary today at St Andrews. And of course those new stadium plans that you'll have seen that were announced in the week. 0-0 here, nearly 5 minutes gone. Bai, who's seen a lot of the ball for Stoke in these early stages, rolls it back to Ashley Phillips, And he plays a square ball across to Ben Wilmot, the other Stoke centre half. Midway point of their own half at the moment. Strokes it out to Shamadou, just shy of the halfway line. Mavididi goes with him. And so it's clipped back to Ashley Phillips and Wilmot. And then across to the vastly experienced Aaron Cresswell on the left-hand side for Stoke. Plays it up to halfway, by again, lays it off to Pearson. Pearson spots Manhoof in a bit of space on this near side of the Stoke right, but the ball isn't strong enough and Luke Thomas can head it away for Leicester, but it's a Stoke throw, 0-0. 5.5 minutes gone on Talksport 2.
Yeah, you could just tell Stoke are playing with a lot of confidence dance, even though they lost their last game, obviously against Coventry, 1-0 at home, but away from home they've been very good. And just looking at he's probably touched the ball 6-7 times in this first sort of 6 minutes. So he's the one who's looking very lively, just drifting into those little pockets.
Down the left-hand side, Stoke have possession with Sorba Thomas, who's enjoyed his international break with Wales. That 7-1 win against North Macedonia, kind of overshadowed by what Scotland did, but still a fantastic result. Thomas again, level with the 18-yard line, drills the ball into the box, and Manhoof had his back to goal and tried to bring the ball under control, but couldn't quite do so, which allowed Fast to clear. And then there's a foul on a Stoke player by Jordan James as Leicester trying to bring it clear, and Stoke have got a free kick in the midway point of the Leicester City half as Huddersfield take the lead at Mansfield in League One. Back-to-back wins for the Terriers after a poor run of form. Bojan Radulovic gets the goal for the Terriers, and Falkirk lead at Dundee United in the Scottish Premiership this afternoon. What a season for Falkirk, having got promoted from the Scottish Championship last year, starting the day in 5th. We'll keep you informed of all goals going in. Nothing in the Premier League just yet, and only that one goal in the Championship for Birmingham City for Marvin Duksch. Free kick for Stoke. Thomas and Cresswell are standing over it to the left of centre in the middle of the Leicester City half of the field as they're attacking the south stand to our right. And it'll be sent in by Cresswell, looking for the runner of Manhoof for the far post, but the offside flag has gone up against Millian Manhoof, and it'll end up being a free kick inside their own penalty area for Leicester City, 0-0.
There's really good delivery from Cresswell on that left-hand side. Just in-swinging, putting it into the right area. And Manhoof went too early. He's looking right across the line down. He shouldn't be offside, and he missed the ball completely. Apart from that, it was quite good play from Manhoof.
Perry's already mentioned that Stoke have won as many away games this season as they did in the whole of last. They've won at Oxford, Portsmouth, Southampton and Sheffield Wednesday. Trying to win the ball back from Leicester as they have it at the edge of their own penalty area, but Fast gets it clear. Thomas can now move towards the halfway line, passes up to halfway and finds Mavididi tight to this near touchline, faced up by Shamadou, so has to work it back for Luke Thomas because there was no way through on that left-hand side that Mavididi could see. It's important that Mavididi gets up ahead of steam here, because when Leicester won promotion 2 years ago, he was pivotal to everything that was good about Leicester City going forward down their left-hand side, along with Fatawa on the right. James making a run forward, but Wilmot can let it drift out of play. Some goals going in elsewhere. Barnsley 1, Luton 0 in League One. They've won 3 out of 5, Barnsley, and Reyes Cleary puts them ahead. Cardiff lead at Northampton as well in League One. Joel Colwill. And it's still 0-0 here as the ball goes out of play for a Stoke City throw midway point of their own half. Perry Groves.
Yeah, just talking about Mavididi there, obviously he's playing on this left-hand side. He just got the ball on the halfway line. Thomas just rolled it out to him, and he was 1v1 with Shamadou, and Shamadou actually was shining inside. So what you've got to get from Mavididi is just push it down the touchline and give him a run and try and get Leicester a bit further up the pitch. What he did was he just come back inside, rolled it back to Thomas. That allowed Stoke then to push further 10 yards up the pitch. And just looking at Stoke, they haven't come here just to sit back dance. When Leicester are in possession, especially when it's into Fass and Vestergaard, they go and press. So Mubama is the one who sets it off. Then he's got Bain just in behind him, Manoff on this right-hand side and Thomas on the left. So you can just tell straight away that Stoke City's manager Mark Robbins has actually set his team out to go and be proactive and be on the front foot.
9.5 gone on Talksport 2 in persistent rainy conditions at the King Power Stadium.
Say something else then.
Yeah. Leicester City 0, Stoke City 0. Notts County 1, Colchester 0. Own goal from Kane Vincent-Young puts Notts County ahead at Meadow Lane, and Chesterfield also in League 2 are 1-0 up at Crewe. James Berry for the Spyrites, 8 unbeaten under Paul Cook at the moment in League Two. About fast for Leicester at 0-0. Plays the ball back to his keeper, Begovic, who clips it first time up to halfway, bounces over the head of Daka, who's desperate to get himself amongst the goals a bit more. Patson Daka, he's just 1 goal last season and nothing this. Now Mavididi getting away from Chamadou in the left-hand side of the area. 3 to pull it back to. It can only find Ben Pearson, who clears it away. Chamadou has stayed down, having seen Mavididi ride the challenge and get away down the left-hand side. And they'll just wait before the throw to be taken. But Mavididi got the better of Chamadou, then Perry Groves, 0-0.
Chamadou just slid in, just overcommitted himself. Mavididi did really well because he knew that Chamadou was sliding in, so he just managed to ride over. I think Mavididi's head just caught Chamadou on the head.
Yeah, back of the head, yeah.
And then Mavididi gets to the byline. He's actually picked the wrong pass because Fatawu was coming from the right-hand side. He's completely unmarked. So if Mavididi just gets his head up and has a little dink to the far post, and he just tried to drill it in to near post to Jordan James, and it gets cleared. But say Chamadou just is accidental from Mavididi, say just trying to hurdle over him. His right foot just caught him on the head, but Chamadou's all right.
Yeah, he doesn't need any treatment, so it's still 11 against 11. Throw for Leicester, level with the Stoke 18-yard line. Here's Luke Thomas. Can he swing the cross? And he can. Good cross. Looking for Daka at the near post, who stooped to try and get a diving header goalwards, but there were enough Stoke players back to get it half clear. But it's picked up by Fatawu up to the edge of the area. Might drop at the edge of the box for Skip, and he slices horribly at the left-footed attempt, and it skews well wide for a Stoke City goal kick. 0-0. We played 11 minutes. Goals elsewhere. Swindon, who've been deposed temporarily at the top of League Two by Walsall's lunchtime win, but they're in front against Grimsby. Ollie Palmer making it 1-0 to the Robins. Rangers 1-0 up against Livingston in Scotland. Emmanuel Fernandez. Tranmere 1-0 up on MK Dons in League Two. Charlie Whittaker. And in the National League, Southend in 7th at the start of the day, a 1-0 up against Altrincham. But 0-0 here, Perry Groves.
Just a really big chance, actually. Ball drops the edge of box to Oliver Skip just in the D, and as it sits up, if his concentration levels are better and he just like concentrates on his technique, he should be hitting the target, and he's actually sliced it completely and goes completely wide of Johansson's goal.
He hasn't scored yet for Leicester City after his move to the King Power Stadium from Tottenham in 2024. First Premier League goal of the afternoon's gone in at the Vitality. Bournemouth 0, West Ham 1. The law of the X strikes as Callum Wilson nets for West Ham against the club where he made his name. Bournemouth 0, West Ham 1.
It's in the paper this week, Callum Wilson saying that he's got it written in his diary that he's going to be in the World Cup squad.
Well, there would appear to be a vacancy. Stoke City coming away with possession. Here's Sorba Thomas running towards the edge of the penalty area. Clips it to the far post, looking for Mubama, who just can't bring it out of the sky. Tried his best to bring it down as it was floated from left to right, but couldn't quite get there. And it ends up being a Leicester City goal kick, 0-0.
Oh, Thomas, that's not the best of you, because he's just cut inside onto his right foot. Mubama just makes a really good run on the far post, and all he's got to do is just dink it into him. Just needs probably more of a pitching wedge, and he's put a little sort of 5-iron there. Just too much club. Goes out for a goal kick for Leicester.
2-0 to Huddersfield now at Mansfield in League One. Dion Charles gets the second for the Terriers. Still 0-0 here at King Power Stadium in the Championship with 13 minutes gone. Here comes Skip again for Leicester. Plays the ball left. Luke Thomas running up towards the edge of the area. Tries to get the drive away, but it's blocked immediately by Ashley Phillips. And away comes Stoke City trying to counter. And then there's a foul by Thomas on Mubama, who just hands him off. And the referee, Matt Donoghue, will want a word with both players about that.
Yeah, it's a little bit of silliness, to be fair, because Mubama does really well. Just shows, holds the ball up. Luke Thomas just overcommits himself. And to be fair, you can understand Mubama always getting frustrated because he thinks he's away from Luke Thomas. And Luke Thomas just grabs him around the midriff, stops him from getting away. Matt Donoghue, the referee, just saying, boys, stop being silly, get on with the game. But I think Luke Thomas has probably got one foul left in him.
More than likely, and then referee will start brandishing cards. Approaching the quarter hour mark on Talksport 2 in the Championship. Leicester City nil. Stoke City nil. And now Stoke have given up a free kick as Thomas was fouled by Manhoof on this near side.
Manhoof manhandled Thomas.
Now here's Jordan James trying to be influential once again for Leicester City, threading it down the right hand side, looking for the run of Fatawu, but it was dealt with quite comfortably by Aaron Cresswell. He's got it again right in front of those Stoke fans in that northeast corner, but his clearance only hits Ricardo Pereira. Fatawu, right hand side for Leicester. He's got plenty of red and white shirts around him trying to block his route infield. Gets it back though, right hand side. Faced up by two Stoke players and wins a throw level with the 18-yard line. Maybe Ricardo Pereira is going to launch a long throw into the box here. Maybe he's Leicester City's long throw specialist. 0-0.
Yeah, they're on vogue now, but just seeing there, Sorba Thomas doing his defensive duties, just doubling up with Cresswell up against Fatawu because he knows the threat of Fatawu.
Here's Ricardo, plays a short throw, gets it back, gives it to Fatawu, right hand corner of the box, clips it into the area but over the head of Mavididi, who wasn't really that close to getting anything on it. Caught by Johansson, who clears from hands very, very quickly out to Sorba Thomas, who brings it down on his chest on the far left hand side, trying to turn away from Harry Winks. He's done very neatly to turn away from him. Fires it across left to right to pick out Manhoof. Now approaching the right hand corner of the Leicester penalty area. Comes in field, Million Manhoof. By tries to flick it round the corner to get Mubama away, but Mubama hadn't read the flick and Leicester can clear. 0-0.
That was brilliant play from Johansson in Stoke City's goal. Danches come and took the cross out at the end. It was like a fly kick, wasn't it? Like a fly half. Just pinged it out to Sorba Thomas on that left hand side. Then switched the play really well up to Manhoof on this right hand side, coming to Bayern, and he should be holding it up, playing in the 10 position. He just tries to flick it into Mubama, ends up giving the ball away, but then Leicester give it away cheaply. Stoke recycle possession.
That's the thoughts of Perry Groves, double title winner with Arsenal. Arsenal play Spurs tomorrow afternoon.
What do you have to mention that for?
Sorry. Well, you're part of the team that's covering it tomorrow on Game Day Live on Talksport from 1:30.
Can't enjoy it, Dad. Can't enjoy those games. You know what it's like with local derbies.
Trip to the dentist and all that,
exactly.
as Paul Hawksby calls it.
Without any shadow of a doubt.
Well, that is from 1:30 tomorrow. 2 games in the Premier League. Stoke trying to come forward down the left-hand side, but Thomas slips, given away to Divine Mubama, finds Manhoof inside the D, back to goal, trying to wriggle his way into space, tries to pass it into the back of the net, but comfortably saved by Begovic, just didn't get anything behind the shot in the end. Million Manhoof, and it's straight into the arms of the former Stoke City keeper. Stays 0-0. Mansfield 0, Huddersfield 3 now. Lasse Sorensen, Wickham lead the leaders, Lincoln, by a goal to 0. Sam Bell, and Hull City lead at QPR 1-0. Joe Gelhardt. Here's Mavididi for Leicester at 0-0 here, trying to play a 1-2 with Daka at the edge of the area. Doesn't quite come off for them, but he has kept possession. Winks finds Pereira, centre of the Stoke half. Poor pass from Pereira, picked up by Mubama, and Baijuho releases Sorba Thomas away down the Stoke City left. Mubama's going like an express train through the middle. Thomas looking further to his right. It might ricochet into the path of Mubama. It nearly did, but Vestergaard read the danger and just hoofed it out of play for a Stoke throw on the far side. 0-0.
Yeah, Ricardo did really well in the end. That's it. It's him. We gave the ball away in the centre circle.
Quickly taken throw. Here's Manhoof. Right hand side of the area, passes across, by with a left footed shot, just goes a yard or so wide of Begovic's right hand post. He was sliding in left hand side of the area, just couldn't get enough on it to divert it goalwards, but Stoke are growing in confidence, but it stays 0-0 on Talksport 2.
Yeah, Manhoof does really well, just comes out to him on the right hand side of the 18-yard box, gets his head up with his right foot, just rolls it in path of Bay, who just makes his run late. And so there, Dance, he comes sliding in, couldn't quite redirect it, just goes past Begovic's right hand post.
Brackley 0, York City 1 in the National League, and Scunthorpe 1, Braintree 0, all elsewhere in the 5th tier. You're listening to Talksport 2, second half of our Championship doubleheader of commentaries. You heard Coventry come from 2-0 down to beat West Bromwich Albion 3-2, and in doing so go 8 points clear at the top of the table, 10 clear of Stoke, who've arrived here looking to keep tabs on the team that beat them 2 weeks ago.
You wouldn't want to be Jason Malombi in the dressing room, Dance, would you, after the game for West Brom?
Not at all. Again, Stoke give the ball away on halfway, and again Sorba Thomas has been released down the left-hand side for Stoke. Flicks it in field. Lovely play from Baijuho, just let the ball run across his body, and then he was held back by Oliver Skipp, and Stoke have won a free kick about 20 yards from goal. Yellow card for Oliver Skipp for the challenge on Bai Jin-ho. But what this gives Stoke is a chance to smack a free kick goalwards, Perry Groves, from about 25 yards out, just to the right of centre.
Yeah, but Leicester City, Dance, are the architects own downfall. They just keep giving the ball away cheaply in really dangerous areas. And it comes to Bai Jin-ho, just tries to let it roll across his body. Oliver Skipp gets himself the wrong side. Bai Jin-ho does really well, just rolls him. Then Matt Donoghue, the referee, gets his first yellow card out. We said it was going to come, Dance, wasn't it, about 3 minutes ago?
Yeah.
So now it's a free kick for Stoke in a really dangerous position just outside the D on the edge of the 18-yard box.
Quite a conversation going on about who's going to strike this. Aaron Cresswell's probably favourite in all of his years of experience with West Ham United and Ipswich to strike this goal. Was Rigo's there as well.
It's just Leicester City's wall, Dance. They've got their two centre-halves in the wall. Vestergaard is the third man along with Valfas next to him, so they're trying to get as much height obviously in that wall as possible. And Vestergaard, so if Aaron Cresswell's going to bend it with his left foot,
up steps Cresswell, goes for goal, and it ripples the roof of the net on its way over the bar. Very close, just didn't dip in time for Aaron Cresswell. Begovic was flying to his right, but the ball went over the bar and just skimmed the top of the net. Goal kick to Leicester, 0-0 with 21 minutes played on Talksport 2.
Yeah, he just couldn't get it to dip at the last minute. There's a good strike from Aaron Cresswell with his left foot. Say Begovic wouldn't have got it, Dance. And Aaron Cresswell just went on the small side of the wall, because you had it was Oliver Skipp, wasn't it, and Fatawu on Daka on the end of the wall.
Rotherham 1-0 up at Reading in League One. Josh Benson 3 unbeaten. Matt Hamshaw's Rotherham. They got that point that Perry witnessed at Kenilworth Road last Saturday against Luton Town. Southend 2-0 up on Altrincham in the National League. And here is Stoke again winning possession on halfway. Ben Pearson finds Sorba Thomas, seeing a lot of the ball down that Stoke left-hand side. Plays it infield to Bai Jin-ho inside the area. This time Skipp covers well. Gets in front of the ball and helps fast to wallop it clear. Daka goes down, wants a free kick, and the referee wagged his finger at Patson Daka to say, get up, I'm not having that. 0-0 it stays as we approach the midway point of the first half here at the King Power Stadium, where I think the rain has eased off.
Abated.
Oh, good word. Largely speaking. Birmingham City 2, Norwich 0. Jay Stansfield with the second for Birmingham.
He was on inane stat of the day.
Oh, well, if it's a Birmingham City inane stat, I'll have that.
Birmingham City have won their last 2 home championship games 4-0. They've won 5 home league games by the 4+ goals in 2025, most in a single year since 1920.
I like it. Here's Mavididi for Leicester, getting up to the left-hand corner of the area. Jinks away and scores a magnificent goal off the underside of the crossbar. Beat Ben Wilmot with a little drop of the shoulder and then whacked it goalwards over the despairing right arm of Victor Johansson and in off the crossbar. And Leicester, who've been under pressure in this opening quarter, hit the front through the returning Steffi Mavididi. Leicester City 1, Stoke City 0.
Dan, you said you wanted to see more from Mavididi. You ain't going to see much more than that. He picks the ball up on the left-hand side, just cuts in, then goes back onto his left foot. Stoke City just back off far too far. They let him get into the 18-yard box, just gets the ball onto his left foot, and he puts his laces through it, and he smashes it like a rocket past Johansson in Leicester's. In Stoke City's goal. I was just looking at the referee, Dance. I thought there was a...
Don't worry, it's a VAR-free zone. It's a VAR-free zone.
Exactly.
We're completely safe. It's his first goal of the season, Steffi Mavididi. And he'll remember that for a while. He gave that a fearful thump. And after all that good approach play that Stoke City have been exhibiting, Perry Groves, they find themselves behind.
Well, the goal came against the run of play, Dance, to be fair. He said that Stoke had a lot of possession, but Mavididi, when he gets himself around the 18-yard box, you know he's got that little bit of imagination, and this time he just got into their foot, so he just put his foot straight through the ball, give Johansson absolutely no chance in Stoke City's goal, just went crashing off the crossbar. Then you look and see if the net ripples, exactly what he did. Leicester go 1-0 up.
Of course, you'll be telling me that's Arsenal quality from Steffi Mavididi, won't you? He was there at the academy.
Yep, he's in the academy, come through the Hale End production line.
Here's Mubama as Stoke are trying to respond, having gone behind in the Midlands once again. Oh, Daka's away, but the offside flag goes up against him in the area. Wilmot, who was beaten by that drop of the shoulder from Mavididi. Went to ground and didn't get the ball, but Daka was just ahead of him when the shot was taken. There's other goals that have gone in. Portsmouth have taken the lead against Millwall. Zach Swanson for Pompey, who haven't won in 6. And Leyton Orient have taken the lead against Blackpool in League 1. Aaron Connolly and Chesterfield 2 up at Crewe in League 2. Lee Bonis with the second for the Spyrites. So 1-0 here to Leicester City with 25 minutes played on Talksport 2. And here is Ashley Phillips on loan from Spurs, back for Wilmot. Now Cresswell inside his own half, clips the ball long downfield without just drift out of play. Fast can let it bounce and go out for a throw to Leicester on the far right hand side of the field for them. Swindon Town 2, Grimsby 1. So Swindon had got a quick second, but Grimsby got one back through Kieran Green. SC Halifax Town lead Solihull Moors by 1-0, and Fleetwood Town back in League 2 1-0 up on Shrewsbury. Ryan Graydon. Now here's Fatawu again. The offside flag goes up against the Leicester player, this time against Fatawu down the right hand side. And I don't think that's because Stoke are playing a particularly high line, Perry Groves, is it?
No, not at all. It's Fatawu just went a little bit too early there. Patson Daka had a great chance where Jordan James was just rolling him again. He's just gone a bit too early. So what they have to do is just bend their runs a bit rather than running sort of dead straight, because there is a lot of space in behind Stoke's two centre halves, Phillips and Wilmot.
Kilmarnock nil, Motherwell 2 in the Scottish Premiership, and Bromley leads Salford in League 2 by 1-0. Omar Suwumni back amongst the goals again for Bromley. Down goes Daka, who was pushed to the ground by Phillips right on this near touch line, so it will give a free kick to Leicester City. A reminder that Talksport Breakfast returns on Monday from 6 a.m, and would you believe it, the chance is Alan Brazil could host for all 5 days. That's the plan, but I can speak from personal experience when I say no chance.
Are you on standby?
I'm not. That ship has long since sailed. Somebody will be, though. Well, it might be me, I don't know. We'll find out. See if Alan can make it all the way through the week. Download the app and find out. Alan should be with you every morning from 6 a.m. on Talksport Breakfast. And the weekend breakfast tomorrow with Shabana Hearn and Tony Cascarino from 6 will bring you all the reaction to today's games and look forward to the North London derby. Sorry, Perry, I mentioned it again. Bai Jun Ho fouled just shy of the halfway line by Winks, who just gives him a tap on the backside as he gets up. Forest Green, leaders of the National League, are in front at Wealdstone. Isaac Moore putting Robbie Savage's side ahead. Here's Shamadou for Stoke City. A goal down to Leicester City here on Talksport 2. Manhoof trying to drift infield, but Thomas watches the run, coming in as well from left back for Leicester, and did really well to protect the ball and give it back to his two centre-halves. Fass back for Begovic. Not a bad understudy, is it, Asmir Begovic, for a club like Leicester, is it, Perry Groves?
Yeah, he just gives that little bit of calmness, doesn't he, for the Leicester back four. It's a big imposing presence.
Ricardo Pereira slides the ball into the feet of Jordan James, midway point of the Stoke half, trying to wriggle his way past two challenges, and he actually fouled Ben Wilmot, so it's been given us a free kick. Crawley Town 0, Accrington Stanley 1 in League 2. Isaac Heath and Oxford lead Middlesbrough by 1-0 in the Championship. How about that? 21st placed Oxford, no winning 3. Borough trying to keep pace with Coventry rather, but Luke Harris has given Oxford the lead, and Tranmere 2-0 upon MK Dons, a second for Charlie Whittaker for the Whites. And Brackley equalised against York City in the National League. That's 1-1. 1-0 here to Leicester City as we approach the half hour on Talksport 2. Here's Sorba Thomas playing a good 1-2 with Bai Jun Ho. Down the left-hand side, but good interception from Ricardo Pereira. Ball played up to Patson Daka, but it won't stick with Patson Daka at the moment with his long balls up. Gobbled up by the Stoke backline, and they have it on the halfway line with Ben Wilmot. Wilmot out to the left-hand side, and Cresswell wanted to play it forward, but there was no route forward, so Stoke have to keep it in their own half for the time being. 1-0 Leicester.
Yeah, just looking at Leicester City when they're going their defensive shape, it's like a 4-4-2, but you said about Bai Jun Ho, getting a lot of touches for Stoke City in this first sort of half an hour. Looks like Harry Winks now has been designated that he basically is going man for man. Everywhere that Bai Jun Ho goes, Harry Winks just follows him around just to negate that threat.
I think that's indicative of what was happening in the first 10 to 15 minutes. That certainly wasn't the case in the opening of this game. Park Jun-ho had lots of space, but no more. Leicester City 1, Stoke City 0. We're approaching the half-hour mark here at King Power Stadium. Leicester 10 matches unbeaten against Stoke, 6 wins and 4 draws. That record stretches back to a game here 10 years ago, which Stoke won by a goal to 0. Stephen Nzonzi played in that game for Stoke. He's on the bench for Stoke this afternoon.
I said to you,
after his return. Is that the same
Stephen Nzonzi? And I have looked, and
it is.
I thought he'd be about 42, but he's 36 years of age. So
he left to go to Sevilla back in that era. I think his last game before he left was that 7-1 demolition of Liverpool at the end of the season at the Bet365 before he went off to Spain. But yes, he's back on a free transfer. Ball played back to the edge of the area, and Leicester trying to close down the space, but Ashley Phillips got enough on it to get it back to his goalkeeper Johansson. Clears it up to halfway. Rigo does well to keep the ball away from Winks. Tried to pass with the outside of his right boot to find Thomas on the left-hand side, but it's skimmed and skidded straight out of play on the skiddy, wet surface. Throw to Leicester, and they lead by a goal to 0 on Talksport 2.
I think that just sort of sums up Stokes a little bit. When the ball came to Rigo there, as you said, it's just a simple pass out to his left-hand side to Zorba Thomas, and he misses him completely by about 5 or 6 yards. So Stoke's ex-manager Mark Robbins will be delighted with the way that Stoke have actually set about the game, but especially in the final third, it's just been their final pass or their choice of pass they've got wrong.
Jordan James pressurising Wilmot, who can flick the ball back to his goalkeeper. He gives it back to Ben Wilmot into the centre of the half. There's a Leicester player down. I think it's Daka, but play continues. Here's Manhoef for Stoke City, right-hand corner of the penalty area, running at Thomas, plays it across the face of goal, but there's Vestergaard there to get it half clear. Daka stayed down, and the referee has a look at Daka and says play on. Now the ball's out of play as Thomas puts it out for a Stoke throw, and now and only now will the Leicester physios maybe be allowed on to treat Patson Daka, who's been down for a good 30 seconds, but I'm guessing it's not a head injury, otherwise surely Matt Donoghue would have stopped it earlier. 1-0 Leicester.
Exactly. Well, Patson Daka's holding his leg, so Matt Donoghue, the referee, quite rightly just has a look at it, just like tries to win the head out, falls to the ground. He actually asks for the free kick. When he doesn't get the free kick, then he decides that he's hurt his leg. Quite rightly, Stoke just play on, comes out to Manhoef on this right-hand side, and he gets on the outside of Thomas, and he should be shooting, Dan. Should get on his right foot, should be shooting. He just tried to cross it again. It's that final decision and final delivery from Stoke which has been letting them down, but actually that's good referee. I know the Leicester fans aren't happy because they're booing because they think the game should be stopped, but Matt Donoghue's 100% right. There's no head injury, and I don't know about you, Dan, I'll probably think that Daka's going to be okay.
I think so. There was no need for treatment. The physios weren't bidded onto the pitch in the end. Hibs take the lead against Dundee in Scotland. That's 1-0 to the Hibees. They've won 3 out of 5. And Nottingham Forest have taken the lead at Anfield against Liverpool. That was the game that they won there last year with Callum Hudson-Odoi, even though Liverpool ended up winning the title. And Sean Dyche is working the oracle once again for Forest. And it was Murilla who got the goal for the Tricky Trees. And Bromley have gone 2-0 up against Salford. Will Hondermark gets the second for Bromley, who are 5th in League 2 at the start of the day. Doing rather well. Ball's going out of play for a Leicester City goal kick away to our right hand side there, defending the South Stand end Leicester away to our right in this first half. They lead by a goal to 0 through Steffi Mavadidi's first of the season, if you're just tuning in, and it was a cracker, dropping his shoulder left hand side of the area to get away from Wilmot and crashing a left footed drive in off the underside of the crossbar. Leicester trying to play out their own defensive third, fast working it down the right hand side, ends up winning a throw, quite fortunately in the end, because they looked a little nervous, Leicester, but Thomas couldn't keep it in play when he'd won it back. 1-0 Leicester.
Dan, you could actually feel the tension and the nerves with the Leicester City fans, because obviously Vestergaard and Fass split the width of the 18-yard box. Pereira doesn't make the right angle. Stoke put the full court press on to go and trying to win the ball back, and lucky enough for Leicester, it goes out for throwing on their right hand side, and then Ricardo Pereira just shins it back out of play.
Well, it's not only a North London derby tomorrow, it's a Steel City derby live on Talksport 2 at high noon. Sheffield Wednesday and Sheffield United meet up at Hillsborough, and Joe Shannon and Courtney Sweetman-Kirk will be your commentary team here on Talksport 2 for that one, whilst Perry's joining Sam and the team for Game Day Live from 130 goals as they go in the Premier League, the WSL and elsewhere. Here's Ben Pearson for Stoke City, trailing Leicester City by 1-0 here. Thomas gives it back to Pearson down the far left-hand side of the field. Just flicked in field for Cresswell. Back it goes for Wilmot on halfway. And Stoke are working it gradually from left to right. Ashley Phillips brings it forward from centre-half. Slides it out to Shamadou, right-hand side, almost level with the edge of the area. Good defending from Mavididi. And then Shamadou takes a touch. Has that gone out for a corner? Yes, it has, says the assistant on this near side. So, somewhat innocuously, Stoke City win a corner to our right, 1-0 Leicester.
Yeah, Mavididi actually doing his defensive duties for Stoke with Shamadou. Shamadou just trying to go on the outside of him. Mavididi just gets a little left foot toe on it. Thinks he's going to stop it going out for corner, but corner for Stoke City on their right-hand side.
Birmingham City 2, Norwich City 1. Matthias Kvistgaarden gets the first goal of Philip Clement's time at Norwich City. And they're back in it at St Andrews. And West Ham 2-0 up at Bournemouth. Callum Wilson again against his old club. Corner to Stoke that Aaron Cresswell's going to take in the southwest corner, down to our right-hand side. Left-footed in-swinger to come from him, deep to the far post. Phillips is running in, heading goalwards, cleared off the line. It's bouncing in the 6-yard area, and the referee spotted an infringement from a Stoke player. And that was nervous again for Leicester in their own penalty area, but the referee's whistle gives them a free kick and they can clear their lines. 1-0 they lead.
Yeah, I think the assistant on this right-hand side, Dance, has flagged for offside. Really good corner from Aaron Cresswell, just bending it in with his left foot. Stoke get the first header from Wilmot. Wilmot heads it down. Begovic saves it, and you think, from Stoke's point of view, can they get someone on the end of it? And I think it's Manhoff who's offside, just gets dragged in behind Ricardo Pereira. Good decision from the assistant on this right-hand side.
Free kick for Stoke as Sorba Thomas was manhandled down the far left-hand side. They're trying a high press, Stoke. Whenever Leicester are playing the ball out from their goalkeeper, they're pressing high and they're creating that nervousness inside the Leicester back line because they're not playing around that particularly well. Barnsley 2-0 up on Luton in League One. Patrick Kelly with the second for the Tykes. Free kick to Stoke. Midway point of the Leicester half, but it's right out on the far left-hand side of the field for the Potters. Thomas and Cresswell standing over it. Leicester holding their defensive line just in front of the 18-yard line. Cresswell drives it in left-footed, headed away by Fass, only as far as Pearson, dead centre of the half. Smashes it out to this right-hand side for Manhoof, who feints to cross with his left. He might cross now with his left. He does, to the far post. Up go the heads. It's Daka heading it behind for a corner kick to Stoke City. Away to our right-hand side as Derby County take the lead against Watford. John Eustace up against the club he played for and represented for many years. Dion Sanderson has put Derby 1 up against Eustace's old club at Pride Park. 1-0 here to Leicester.
Yep. Corner now for Stoke on their left-hand side. Sorba Thomas will take it in swing with his right foot.
And there's 4 Stoke players beyond the far post, closer to us. Now they're all making a run across the area as it comes from Thomas and it misses everybody. Baijin Ho thought about trying to improvise a volley as the ball dropped out of the sky, but instead it just drops behind. 7 minutes to half-time. Goal kick to Leicester City, who lead Stoke City by 1-0 here on your home with the EFL, Talksport 2.
Yeah, just overhit there from Sorba Thomas, just trying to whip it into the far post. Stoke City just challenging their inner Arsenal, where obviously Leicester go zonal right across the 6-yard box, leave the spaces. Stoke's 4 players come and try and occupy those spaces, but you've got to make sure that you whip it in the centre 6-yard box.
Again, this high press from Stoke has Leicester very nervous. Winks managed to get the ball away from 3 Stoke players around him. Now Vestergaard's being faced up by Rigo. Plays it across to Fass. Good ball infield to Winks, who can carry the ball towards halfway. Fata relays it back for Ricardo Pereira. Then clip back for Fass, just in front of his own 18-yard line. Wanting an option, doesn't see one that he can use, so he gives the ball to his left and Vestergaard. Nice ball round the corner for Winks. Winks up to halfway for Daka. Gives it back to Winks, who's got 2 to his left as he drives over the halfway line. Good play, Harry Winks, and finds Luke Thomas approaching the penalty area. Left-footed ball into the box. It's headed half cleared by Phillips, brought down by Fatawu on the right-hand side. Gets it back from Ricardo Pereira. Up against Cresswell. Is he going to go and try and go on the outside of Aaron Cresswell? Plays it back instead for Ricardo Pereira. Pereira faced up by Thomas. Has to go in field for Winks. Back for Pereira once again. Tries to clip it inside Cresswell for the run of Fatawu. Only half cleared by Cresswell. But then Pereira trying to make a run saw his attempted run through intercepted by Pearson. Manhoof took a touch to get it away from Thomas, who caught him. Free kick, bang on halfway for Stoke City, as Thomas just caught the boot of Manhoof as he looked to try and get away on the counter-attack for Stoke City. Leicester 1, Stoke 0, 5 to half time.
Yeah, I think Thomas has been a little bit lucky there coming to Manhoof, who just toe poked it past him, and Thomas comes sliding in. That's the third foul that he's committed, and he was a little bit late with his stud showing. So Matt Donoghue, the referee, I think has been a bit lenient. Just looking at Leicester City, Dan, you said about, they're a bit nervous playing out from the back, Vestergaard and Fass, but you need someone to take responsibility, and the last 10 minutes has been Harry Winks. We said about him obviously marking by in that 10 position for Stoke, but the nervousness came when Harry Winks nearly got caught in possession, but he gave a massive thumbs up to Begovic to say, keep giving me the ball, keep giving it to me, and I'll get us up the pitch, and it's exactly what he did.
Here's Sorba Thomas for Stoke, bursting down the left-hand side, gets to the byline, pulls it back, headed behind by Vestergaard for another Stoke corner at the South Stand end as QPR in the Championship equalise at home to Hull City. That's 1-1 Ilias Chair. 1-0 here to Leicester, but they've got a corner to defend.
Yeah, just Stoke just trying to exert that little bit of pressure. Manhoof looked like he was going to take it, but obviously Aaron Cresswell's delivery from free kicks and corners has been very, very good. Dance, he's going to just have an in-swing with his left foot.
And again, there's 2 or 3 Stoke players beyond the far post. Phillips and Baijun-ho, Mubama standing around the penalty spot. It's going to be a left-footed in-swinger for Stoke from Aaron Cresswell. Drives it in now, very deep to the far post. Bai heads it back across the face of goal. Might drop for Rigo. They get it half clear, but again there's a foul by a Stoke player in the Leicester City box, and it buys Leicester City a bit of time as they win the free kick and can get it downfield. They still lead through that goal midway through the first half from Steffi Mavididi. Leicester 1, Stoke 0. Perry Groves.
Another good corner there from Aaron Cresswell, just bending it to the far post. Bai gets his header back across the 6-yard box. So Stoke are getting the first contact, but they can't get that second contact, Dance. It was Luke Thomas there who got the knockdown, managed to just get his head to it. And then there was a little bit of push and shoving from Phillips on Wout Fass. Referee Matt Donoghue gives the free kick,
which has been smacked downfield by Asmir Begovic. But there's a foul by a Leicester player, and now Steffi Mavididi has added a yellow card to the goal that he scored. I don't know whether that was for a bit of back chat to the referee, but a yellow card for the goal scorer.
Yeah, I think you're right, Dan.
Or did he just go in? No, he went in too strongly on Ashley Phillips, sort of went in with his shoulder.
Do you know what, Dan? He's not even facing the ball, because as the ball dropped over his head, as you said there, he looks at Ashley Phillips and just managed to clatter into him with his shoulder. Gave the referee Matt Donoghue no option but to give him the yellow card.
So that's the second yellow card of the game, both of which have gone to Leicester players. 2 minutes of normal time remaining in this first half on Talksport 2. Can Leicester keep their noses in front to the break? Looking for their first back-to-back wins since August. Here is Ben Wilmot for Stoke City. They won't want back-to-back defeats either side of the international break after the start that they've made. Pearson knocks it down to Wilmot. Into the feet of Cresswell. Still on the halfway line here, Stoke. Wilmot spots Shamadou in a bit of space. It's fired into the chest of Mubama. Now Manhoof tries to take over. Thomas with an important foot in, and Vestergaard. And Leicester have it back with Luke Thomas. Cifuentes calling for Fatawu to move in field. The ball up to halfway is intercepted for Stoke by Phillips. Bai can't release Mubama. And now Fatawu trying to get away, but an important touch from Wilmot. But Fatawu can pick up the loose ball. Slides it through for Daka! 2-0 Leicester! Patson Daka at long last nets for Leicester. Such a long time since he's done it. Almost a year since Patson Daka's found the net for the Foxes. And after Fatawu broke, Wilmot got the challenge in, didn't get it fully clear, and Fatawu straight onto the loose ball and had the presence of mind to slide in Daka, who drew the goalkeeper and slotted it home neatly. And Leicester, right on half-time, have doubled their lead at King Power Stadium. Leicester 2, Stoke City 0.
Dance is a brilliant ball from Fatawu. We said about the quality in the final third. Could he pick the right pass? Exactly, he can. Comes out to Daka, and you'd never believe Dance hasn't scored for nearly over a year, because as Johansson comes out to him, Daka just waits for him to go to ground, just dinks it over the top of him. Brilliant finish from Patson Daka, and it's a brilliant ball from Fatawu, who's come in from that right hand side. Wilmot slides in, he just rides the challenge, just makes sure that the pace of the pass is absolutely perfect. Brilliantly crafted goal from Leicester City's point of view. They go 2 up here at the King Power Stadium against Stoke City.
It's funny because as we go into a minute of added time, Marty Cifuentes, only 20 seconds before that run was made by Abdul Fatawu, was telling him to come in field. He was too isolated out on the right hand side, and boy oh boy did that little tactical switch work for Leicester City. So we're into that minute of minimum stoppage time now, and Stoke City have got serious work to do in the second half to prevent back-to-back defeats. Wycombe go 2-0 up on Lincoln, the leaders of League One, on a 2-0 down. Sam Bell with his and Wycombe's second. Brackley 2, York 2 in the National League. And Birmingham City 3, Norwich 1. Marvin Dux gets his second and Birmingham's third. Ball's back with Asmir Begovic, who has had 1 or 2 half saves to make, nothing major to deal with against his old club.
Yeah, I think he had a Wilmot header, didn't he, from a free kick, which is an easy save.
Well, there's the half-time whistle. Scratch of the head from Mark Robbins as he makes his way down the tunnel, because his Stoke City side may have started the game well, but Leicester City hit the front through a cracker from Steffi Mavididi midway through the first half. Got the ball inside the penalty area, left-hand side, dropped his shoulder to completely throw Ben Wilmot, and then crashed in a left-footed drive off the underside of the crossbar. And then whilst they were still looking a bit nervous at the back, Leicester, they got themselves a second right on half-time. Abdul Fatawu thought he got clear. Only a half challenge from Wilmot gave Fatawu the chance to get to his feet and release Patson Daka for his first goal since December, to put Leicester firmly in control here at King Power Stadium. At the break on Talksport 2, it is Leicester City 2, Stoke City 0.
Another surprising half-time scoreline. Can't quite believe it myself, especially when you look at the expected goals. Leicester 0.67, Stoke 0.55, but obviously Leicester have scored 2 in that first half. They've had less possession, 55%. To Stoke, 6 shots to Stoke, 4 for Leicester, 3 on target for Stoke, just 2 on target for Leicester, although they have had 1 big chance to none for Stoke. But ultimately, virtually all of the stats in Stoke's favour. It does seem an even game, and obviously the scoreline's all that really matters. Perry, how have you seen that first half? Is it a well-deserved 2-goal lead?
You lies, damn lies, and statistics. And if you look at the stats, you say obviously they're all in favour of Stoke, but Leicester have just been more clinical. You know, we said that Stoke were very good in possession, they're very good up to the final third, but the final pass was very, very poor. You look at it, little bits of quality, and in any football level you play at, it's always the most important thing in both penalty boxes. And Leicester have just been far more ruthless in the opposition's penalty area. And if you look at Mavididi, Dance was saying in commentary that he'd like to see more from him on this left hand side. He was sort of drifting in and out the game, but then when he got by the way, it's not an assist from Harry Winks. We just put that right, okay, because Harry Winks just feeds him the ball out onto this left hand side, and then as he just cuts inside left position, Stoke just back off, and with a player of Mavididi's quality, you can't do that, and he gets it onto his left foot, puts his laces for it, gives Johansson in Stoke City's goal absolutely no chance whatsoever, crashes off the underneath of the crossbar and goes in the back of the net. That was in the 23rd minute, and that was against the run of play, because say Stoke had dominated possession, looked the better side, but they weren't ruthless enough when the chances fell to them.
Cracking goal from Mavididi, huge moment for Patson Daka as well. They've needed far more of that from him in recent times.
Yeah, again, he was sort of drifting in and out the game. He was getting a little bit frustrated, but it was a breakaway from Leicester City. It came to Oliver Skipp. He just tried to roll it into Fatawu, who came in from that right-hand side. Ben Wilmot sort of slid in, the Stoke City centre-half. Fatawu did really well, manages to ride him. And then when he's in that sort of inside right position, can he pick the right pass? And it's his weight of pass, Hugh. His weight of pass is absolutely perfect for Patson Daka. And then he just waits, and you wouldn't believe he hadn't scored a goal for nearly a year, because he waits for Johansson to come sliding out. As he goes to ground, he just dinks it over him. The Leicester City fans, you can hear them gasp, waiting, is it going to hit the back of the net? Exactly what he does. Leicester City go in 2-0 up at half time, and you have to say what you said there, Hugh. They haven't played particularly well in the first half, but the thing that Marty Cifuentes, the Leicester City manager, will be delighted with, they stayed in the game. You know, they did the ugly stuff. They made sure that they sort of won the knockdowns and the 50-50s when it was in around their 18-yard box. So it hasn't been a pretty performance from Leicester City by any means, but the Leicester City fans, if you said at half time before the game, you'll be going 2-0 up at half time with the form, how poor they've been here at the King Power all season in the Championship. They'd have snapped your hands off.
Stoke City, after a defeat against Coventry last time out, as we said, would have wanted to bounce back with a big 3 points. What's gone wrong for them? I know you mentioned both penalty boxes and taking your chances when they present themselves, but are they creating enough? Are they doing enough to come away to the King Power and pick up a 3-point win?
But they've been good up until the final third. You know, we mentioned about Bai in that 10 position, just floating in and around Mubama up front for Stoke City. And the first sort of 10-15 minutes, he was the most influential player, but he kept giving the ball away, or he kept picking that wrong pass. So I think Mark Robbins will go in at half time. He might be scratching his head a little bit, thinking my team has played quite well, but then he'll be really disappointed, because Stoke have been really good defensively away from home. Said before, they only conceded 5 goals all season in the Championship, but he'll be really disappointed with their concentration levels at the back. First goal, obviously, as I said before, the back four just backing off far too far into the 18-yard box, and the second one, Ben Wilmot was caught 1v1 with Fatawu coming in from that right-hand side. So it's just the fine details from Stoke City's point of view, so he'll want them just to be a little bit more concentrated in and out of possession, because they've put in the full court press on. Leicester City are trying to play out from the back. But I have to say, when it was getting a bit nervy, you're looking for a player to take responsibility, and Harry Winks did that for the last 15 minutes that first half for Leicester. He was the one getting himself on the ball and just tried to calm him down a little bit.
Work to do for Stoke City if they're to salvage anything from this. So far, the day out at the King Power going very, very well for those Leicester City fans and Marty Cifuentes' team. Steffi Mavadidi and Patson Daka putting them 2 goals to the good against high-flying Stoke. We're going to have all the classified scores from the Premier League and EFL coming for you shortly. But coming up at 5:30, Newcastle face Manchester City in the Premier League. An absolutely massive game. It's going to be watched by Talksport's Steve Harmison, and we can look ahead to the game. Steve joins us now. Good afternoon.
How are you, Hugh?
Very well indeed. Firstly, you calmed down from the cricket?
I'm hoping I need this game to be as exciting as the cricket to keep me awake. I've been awake for the last 2 mornings at 1 o'clock. So, I mean, the weather's set fair. I'd say paint the picture. It's an absolute beautiful night for a game of football. There's no wind, there's no rain. Might be a little bit forecast, but it is a beautiful night for a game of football. And, Newcastle have to turn up. They're 15th in the league at this moment in time. And if Hull was to do something at home against Sunderland, they drop down to 16th. And that, for a Champions League club, would be slightly concerning.
Yeah, absolutely. Manchester City come into this, of course. Many people saying, are they going to be in a title race? Are they that good? Is it a one-man team with Erling Haaland? What are your thoughts on their potential and just how big this game might be for them with Liverpool? And we're going to tell you, I'm going to give something away at the moment. Liverpool trailing at the moment. Arsenal facing the North London derby. How important is it for City to pick up all 3 points today?
Well, I think it's a couple of things on this issue. I think it's massive for the context of the table. I think when you look at, you've just mentioned the games that are played this weekend. You experience of Pep Guardiola will say it doesn't matter what happens at this time of the year. It's after Christmas and into into the new year and stuff like that. That comes out of Pep's mouth when he's 100% right. Are they a one-man team? You've just asked that question. Yeah, but what a team he is! What a one man he is! I mean, if he scores today, he breaks Alan Shearer's record in Alan Shearer's back garden. 100 fastest 100 to 100 Premier League goals. 100 would be 109 games. Alan was 124, and that's a phenomenal achievement. So, yes, you might label him as a one-man team, but I mean, how many teams have won championships, Hugh, with the one big striker, Mo Salah scoring all the goals, in the time Alan Shearer, you say from his Blackburn days, and even when Manchester United, they had one of their goal scorers, whether it was Eric Cantona, Andy Cole, people like that, who scored the majority of the goals. You need to keep him fit, and you need to keep giving him the service. And Man City so far this season, have been giving him service. Yeah,
Erling Haaland, excuse me, really riding high at the moment. Norway fired to the World Cup thanks to his goals, and I saw a little clip on Manchester City socials. They welcomed their players back and they asked him if he enjoyed the break. He said, I bleeping loved it. So there you go. Erling Haaland in good spirits. Will he fire City to a victory at St James's Park? Steve Harmison going to keep you right up to date with everything on Talksport. It's a 5:30 kickoff in that one. Steve, thank you very much indeed. Okay, we're going to be back very, very shortly for the second half of the King Power Stadium with Stoke trailing by 2, and we'll have the classified half times for you straight after this.
Ultimate Sports Radio.
What a moment!
This is Talksport 2. Hawksby and Jacobs on your side every weekday afternoon from 1 on Talksport with Toolstation, delivering cutting-edge comment, a catalogue of riveting guests, and drilled-down dialogue to power up your lunchtime. Plus, breaking news, views, and loads of laughs. Don't miss the nation's favourite sporting lunch with the legendary Hawksby and Jacobs every weekday afternoon from 1 on Talksport with Toolstation. Next stop, Toolstation.
In her framing shop, Sally's got an eye for precision, plus a computer full of customer orders and precious memories. There are locks on the doors and sensors on the windows, but what's securing it all is BT Cybersecurity. With business antivirus, cloud protection, and security awareness training, it helps stop threats before they strike, keeping sensitive business data safe. Because protecting your business takes more than just toughened glass and a steady hand. Cybersecurity is everyone's business. Search BT Business Cybersecurity.
I'm Professor Huggington, and I like dogs.
When your kid's favourite toy starts to run out of battery power, no need to worry. Your new batteries are already on their way, arriving today with Amazon Prime. Everyday essentials delivered fast. It's on Prime.
I'm Professor Huggington, and I like to hug.
Cut-off times and T's and C's apply. See product page when ordering.
It's the last chance to get yourself a ticket for tonight's Lotto draw.
It could be you.
Lotto from the National Lottery. Rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
In 2024, a hangry fan posted, "Why do other countries have better McDonald's menus than ours?" So, we went abroad and heisted some worldwide favourites. The World Menu Heist. 8 of the most wanted McDonald's menu items from around the world. Now in the UK. Until 25th of November from 11 a.m. Fees apply to delivery orders. Price and participation may vary, subject to availability.
2 Costa lattes for Abby.
The family calendar's already overflowing. Christmas parties, visiting the in-laws, and endless wrapping. But here, in this Costa coffee date, everything slows. Just a pair of hands held together and another holding mugs. You smile, promising to do this more before the season sweeps you away again. It's more than a latte. It's a Costa Christmas catch-up. Costa Coffee, made with heart.
Switching to Vodafone full fibre broadband is now as easy as pie. Ooh, freshly baked. It's a walk in the park. Hello, little fella. It's like taking candy from a baby. Come on, as if I'd do that. With One Touch Switch, it's easy. We sort everything out for you. We even contact your current provider. Plus, we'll help towards leaving fees. Switch today to full fibre broadband with Vodafone.
Up to £200 credit to cover leaving fees. More information and terms at vodafone.co.uk/broadband.
Every emotion and total devotion.
This game on. This is Talksport 2.
This is Game Day. Halftime classifieds.
Yes, you're listening to Talksport 2, the home of the EFL. I am Hugh Wisencroft. Let's get your halftime classified scores, shall we? Starting with
Premier League.
Earlier on Talksport, we brought you Burnley 0, Chelsea 2. At the break, it is Bournemouth 0, West Ham 2, Brighton 0, Brentford 1. Goalless between Fulham and Sunderland. Liverpool trail Nottingham Forest by a 1-0. It's Wolves 0, Crystal Palace 0. Newcastle face Manchester City at 5:30.
Sky Bet Championship.
Earlier it finished Bristol City 3, Swansea 0, Charlton 1, Southampton 5, and Coventry 3, 10-man West Brom 2. At the break, Birmingham 3, Norwich 1, Derby 1, Watford 0, goalless between Ipswich and Wrexham. It's Leicester 2, Stoke 0, Oxford United 1, Middlesbrough 0, Portsmouth 1, Millwall 0, and QPR 1, Hull 1.
Sky Bet League One.
It finished Port Vale 0, Plymouth 1. AFC Wimbledon goalless against Wigan. It's Barnsley 3, Luton 0, Bolton 0, Bradford 0, Leyton Orient 1, Blackpool 0, Mansfield 0, Huddersfield 3, Northampton 0, Cardiff 1, Reading 0, Rotherham 1, goalless between Stevenage and Doncaster, and it's Wickham 2, Lincoln 0.
Sky Bet League 2.
Finished Gillingham 1, Barnet 1, Harrogate 0, Walsall 2. At the break, it's goalless between Barrow and Cambridge. It's Bromley 2, Salford 0, Cheltenham 0, Bristol Rovers 0, Crawley 0, Accrington 1, Crewe 1, Chesterfield 2, Fleetwood 1, Shrewsbury 0. It's Notts County 1, Colchester 1. Goalless between Oldham and Newport. 2-2 between Swindon and Grimsby. And it's Tranmere 2, MK Dons 0. Just to bring you the scores in Scotland as well, in the Scottish Premiership at the break. Dundee United 0, Falkirk 2, it's Hibernian 1, Dundee 0, Kilmarnock 0, Motherwell 2, and it's level 1-1 between Rangers and Livingston St Mirren, and Celtic kick-off at 8 p.m. Let's head back to the King Power Stadium, where Leicester have a healthy 2-goal lead over Stoke City. Let's cross back to your commentators, former Arsenal winger Perry Groves, who's alongside Ian Danter. He's got to do something here, Mark Robbins, doesn't he? It's a bit like Coventry a little bit earlier on. Yes, they were helped by the red card, Perry, but it's up to the manager now to try and get all 3 points and maybe do something radical to achieve it.
Yeah, I think he'll probably give it about 10 minutes before he thinks of making a change, because you've got Bozinek, who can come on up front as a centre forward. Then obviously you've got Donnelly, attacking midfield player on loan from Spurs, maybe give him a little bit of creativity. And it wasn't that bad a performance from Stoke in the first half. They were probably the better side, but they just couldn't find the end product, couldn't find that final pass. And we said before, Leicester City could.
It's an interesting one in terms of the mentality of the Leicester players right now, and Martí Cifuentes. Do you keep doing what you've been doing, or will it come into their mind as the half goes on that they need to protect this lead just a little bit, maybe go defensive, and does that help Stoke in a way?
Well, you want your senior players to take responsibility. You've got Vestergaard and Fass, obviously the two centre-halves. Winks and skipping the centre midfield, said Harry Winks, and started to get himself on that ball a little bit more for Leicester. And it might get a little bit nervy because their performances haven't been particularly good this season here at the King Power, but let's see if Stoke can get themselves back into the game. OK, just back underway. Leicester City leading Stoke by 2-0. Your commentary team, former Arsenal winger Perry Groves, and Talksport's Ian Danter.
And Leicester, having the 2-goal lead, will be attacking the south stand to our right in this second half as we sit at the back of the west stand here at King Power. Stoke will be attacking the north stand. Their supporters will be a little disgruntled in that northeast corner with the fact that their teams somehow find themselves 2 goals down after the first 45 minutes. No changes made by either Martí Cifuentes or Mark Robbins at the break, so I can run you through the lineups very quickly as Vestergaard whacks a free kick downfield for Leicester, but Wilmot can head it carefully back to his keeper. Begovic in goal for Leicester, Pereira, Vestergaard, Fass and Thomas, Winks and Skip, Fatawu, James and Mavididi with Daka in attack. For Stoke, it's Johansson the keeper, Shamadou, Phillips, Wilmot and Cresswell, Pearson and Rigo, Manhoof, Bay and Thomas behind Mubama. And I'll keep you updated with goals going in elsewhere. Hugh's just run you through the classified check at half-time. Anything goes in second half around the country, I'll let you know. Whilst we have the Around the Ground service on Talksport right now with Adrian Durham and the team ahead of the game day phone-in with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy at 5:30. Ball's back with Victor Johansson, started his career at Leicester City. Had a few nice hugs touchline here after he finished his warm-up with people that were clearly here when he was first here. Now Miljan Manhoef breaks away for Stoke City into the area. Great save by Begovic as Manhoef went for goal from about 12 yards out, and Begovic threw up a right paw and got it over the crossbar as Manhoef suddenly threatened to reduce the arrears by half. Corner kick Stoke.
Yeah, it's Manhoef coming from that right-hand side. Wout Faes actually thought about bringing him down, but he nearly got sent off if he did. Then you're thinking, can Manhoef find the finish? He's 1v1 against Begovic. What a save from Begovic. Just make sure he stays nice and big, gets a big left palm for it, just tips it over the crossbar. Corner for Stoke over on their right-hand side.
Which Thomas is preparing to take in front of those Stoke fans who've made the trip across from the Potteries. Raises his left arm, Sorba Thomas. A few players break around the penalty spot. To Paul Corner. It's flicked away by Mavididi and then headed further clear for Leicester by Harry Winks. Comes back to Chamadou at the edge of the centre circle. Plays it to his right for Ben Pearson. Pearson has got Thomas available on the right wing. He's still out there. Gives it back to Chamadou, just in front of the halfway line. He lofts the ball into the area. Headed across the area. Bai Jun-ho. Great header. Stoke are back in it. Ashley Phillips headed it across the area, and Bai Jun-ho was there to head it home from close range. There was nothing Begovic could do about that, and within 3 minutes of the restart, Stoke are back in it. Leicester 2, Stoke 1.
That's exactly the start that Mark Roberts would want from his Stoke City side. Putting under pressure as the ball comes into the 18-yard box. Phillips gets the first header, just knocks it back across the 18-yard box, and there's Bai Jun-ho. He's got himself away from Daka and Wout Faes on the far post. Shocking marking from Leicester City. Really well crafted goal from Stoke City. Great little ball in from Chamadou initially. Phillips nods it back across, and Bai Jun-ho, unmarked at the far post, heads it down past Begovic, gives it absolutely no chance. Stoke City get himself back into the game. 2-1 to Leicester City here at the King Power Stadium.
And another player scoring his first goal of the season, as with Mavididi and as with Daka, for Bai Jun-ho, the Korean. So they've got themselves back in it very, very early doors here in this second half, Stoke City, just to sow the seeds of doubt for the home fans. But Leicester have won themselves a free kick on the right hand side, just down beneath us, away to our right hand side. Jordan James and Luke Thomas standing over it. Stoke have got their defensive line held at the 18-yard line, and there's a two-man wall protecting Johansson's near post should Luke Thomas decide he wants to go for goal from this near touch line. James standing over it as well. James runs over the ball. Thomas just rolls it square into the centre of the half for Winks. If you urge him to shoot, he clips the ball into the area. Bai Jun-ho heads it clear, but Fatu will just let the ball drift out of play for a throw to Leicester left hand side. Barrow 0, Cambridge United 1 in League 2. Cambridge 4 unbeaten, and they lead through Pelly Rudder-Kampanzu, once of Luton Town. Throw in back for Harry Winks, left hand side for Leicester, plays it back out to the left wing and Thomas. Now Mavididi pushes in field, being watched all the way by Manhoef into the centre of the Stoke half for Vestergaard. Almost showed too much of that to Manhoef, but the ball's worked back out to the Leicester left. Good ball in field to find Mavididi up at the edge of the area, trying to slide it into the path of Patson Daka with his back to goal, but it got away from Daka, and Mubama now trying to hold the ball up, and he's given it away for Stoke, and then goes in sliding to win it back off Daka. Well, he had to atone for the error, Divine Mubama, and he did that to toe-end it back to his goalkeeper. Leicester 2, Stoke 1.
Yeah, it was a good reaction from Mubama as the ball come into him. He held it up really well initially, Dance, and then give the ball away to Daka, and then just made sure that he tracked back, just slid in, got his toe poked to it.
Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 2. Nicolo Savona. They're going to do it again at Anfield, Nottingham Forest, as they did last season. This time by 2 goals. 2-1 here to Leicester. 5 minutes gone, second half. Mavididi, who scored the first of the afternoon, trying to wriggle his way in field. He's fouled by Pearson. Free kick to Leicester City. So in the Premier League, Bournemouth 0, West Ham 2. Both goals from former Bournemouth man Callum Wilson. Brentford 1 up at Brighton through that Igor Thiago penalty. Fulham and Sunderland goalless. Forest 2 up at Liverpool, and Wolves and Palace locked at 0-0 in Rob Edwards' first game in charge of his new club.
I think it's Igor Thiago's 10th goal for the season, Dan, and it all comps.
Here's Mavididi bursting into the area left hand side, but couldn't quite get away from Junior Chamadou, who did really well in the end, stayed on his feet, and the ball just ricocheted away throw to Leicester City deep in Stoke territory. QPR 1, Hull 2. Hull back in front at Loftus Road through Enis Destan for the Tigers. Crew 2, Chesterfield 2 as well in League 2. Crew have got a second. What were you saying there, Perry?
QPR struggling at home, lost the last 3 in the Championship.
Yeah, no winning 4 all told for Julian Stefan. Long throw coming into the box for Luke Thomas of Leicester City. From the left-hand side, hurls it into the near post, but that's a comfortable catch. Uncontested for Victor Johansson, who was playing for Sweden in the international break. Had a rest on Tuesday night, actually. Graham Potter elected not to use him in a friendly, but he's been ever present for Stoke City since he moved from Rotherham in 2024.
Don't think Graham Potter played Isak either, did he? He was worried about getting booked and getting suspended for the playoff game.
Which I think is against Ukraine, isn't it? The first half of the pathway for Sweden. Leicester 2, Stoke 1. 7.5 minutes gone, second half. And that early second half goal for Stoke has just added a little bit of tension around the King Power Stadium and uncertainty.
I feel what it was, Dan, from Stoke's point of view. I said about the lack of quality in the final third in the first half. It was a brilliant ball from Shambudu initially, and then Phillips just pilling around the back. He gets the first contact, which Stoke were doing a lot in that first half, but then they managed to get the second contact from Bai Jun-ho.
I have to say it was a very clever header from Ashley Phillips, knowing, I think, instinctively where Bai Jun-ho was, and the accuracy of that first header was terrific. And then Bai Jun-ho did the rest.
This shocking marking from Daka and especially Wout Faes, who's Leicester's centre half. You've got to make sure that you track your runner. And Bai Jun-ho was unmarked. It's probably 5 yards of space at the far post.
Certainly gives a lot of belief to those Stoke fans, the 3,300 of them in the northeast corner opposite us. 8.5 minutes gone, second half. PSV lead it to NEC Breda. They are Liverpool's next opponents. Live on Talksport 2 on Wednesday night in the Champions League. Here is Luke Thomas for Leicester City. Slides the ball forward for Patson Daka. Making a run down the inside left channel. Gives it back to Mavididi, hugging the far left-hand touchline. Little ball in field for Daka once more. Has to go back to halfway. And Yannick Vestergaard. A short pass for Harry Winks. Gives it back to Vestergaard. Now Faes in the centre circle. Finds Vestergaard once more. Mubama tries to close down the space. Faes with his shock of long curly hair works it out to the blonde-headed Jordan James, right-hand side. Ricardo Pereira tries to feed it out to Abdel Fattah on this near side, but Cresswell watched it well. Picks a dry ball off one of the cones around the stadium for the multi-ball and gives it back to Ben Wilmot. Johansson clears right in front of his own goal line with Daka trying to close down the space. Phillips finds Shambudu. Early ball from Shambudu over the top. Picking out Manhoef. Brilliant first touch from Manhoef. Takes it out to the right-hand side. Going to have a run at Thomas. Comes in field. Millia Manhoef finds Bai Jun-ho inside the D. Gets the ball in his right foot. Shot is blocked by Faes. And then Mavididi brings it clear to try and launch a counter-attack. James making a run ahead of him. Picks it up now, Jordan James. Then loses his footing as he tries to get away down the right-hand side. And that allows Sorba Thomas to get a footing. But somehow Jordan James ends up winning a throw out of it for Leicester City. 2-1 Foxes.
He gets a round of applause from Leicester City fans, Dan, because it was a good break from Leicester City. Come to Jordan James. It looks like he was going to lead that breakaway, and all of a sudden it looks like he put his roller skates on, ended up falling over, and then regaining his balance, getting the ball back, carrying the ball an extra 20 yards and getting a throw in for Leicester on their right-hand side.
Plays from both sides warming up down beneath us as Ricardo Pereira swings across in from the right for Stoke along the deck. Cleared away by Ben Wilmot on the half volley, and Leicester can't keep the ball in play on this near side, so it's a throw to Stoke City. Eastleigh 0, Hartlepool United 1 in the National League. The Pools are 5 unbeaten, climbing up the table.
Jeff Stelling will be happy.
He will. But he's not on breakfast next week. It's all Alan Brazil, or at least in theory, it's all Alan Brazil on TalkSport Breakfast every day from 6 a.m. Tune in to find out whether he manages it. I will be.
He'll be doing his prep as we speak.
Oh, of course he will.
In the little...
in the Langens Brasserie.
In the leisure centre somewhere. And a few lengths of the pool, little sauna, making sure that he's keeping abreast of what's going on in the Premier League and through the EFL.
I don't doubt it.
Fresh for Monday.
Abdul Fattah for Leicester rolls it to the feet of Daka, goes down under pressure from Phillips, but no free kick, says Matt Donoghue, the referee. And Pearson clears up to halfway. Again, a fairly heavy touch from Mubama, but this time he managed to keep it away from the attentions of the Leicester City midfield. Oxford 1, Middlesbrough 1. Morgan Whittaker equalises for the Borough in that big game in the Championship. We'll be with their game on Tuesday night against Coventry City, live on Talksport 2. Mark Wilson and Chris Owellamo will be your commentary team for that one. Here is Rigo driving the ball across from the right-hand side for Stoke, cleared away at the near post by Vestergaard and smacked downfield by Thomas, Luke Thomas that is, but tidied up by Ashley Phillips. QPR equalise against Hull, 2-2. Jimmy Dunn up from the back to equalise for Queen's Park Rangers at the Loft. 2-1 here to Leicester City, but Stoke got that very early goal at the start of the second half, and Thomas Rigo making a run down the right hand side of the area, well watched by Oliver Skipp, and between him and Vestergaard they get the ball clear. Luke Thomas clears the ball over halfway. Jordan James is the furthest forward for Leicester, and now he's in a race with Ben Wilmot, and out comes Johansson, gets there first, and he's caught by Jordan James. He just ran into him, really, nothing particularly savage about it from Jordan James' point of view, but a free kick to Stoke anyway. 2-1 Leicester.
Well, the goalkeepers are a protected species. It was a good starting position from Johansson. To be fair, Dance in Stoke's goal, because it looked like Jordan James was getting away from Ben Wilmot, and actually Jordan James just had a little follow through with his right forearm, caught Johansson. So I was being a little bit harsh on the goalkeeper there, because it was a bona fide foul. Matt Donoghue, the referee, in a really good position to give the free kick.
Oldham Athletic 1, Newport 0. Josh Hawkes, new manager at Newport, former Leicester hero Christian Fuchs. Welcome to League 2 management up at Boundary Park this afternoon. Portsmouth 2, Millwall 0 in the Championship. An own goal from Tristan Kramer puts Portsmouth further clear, and Birmingham have scored 4 again. Jay Stansfield, he gets his second. Birmingham City 4, Norwich City 1. Here's Oliver Skipp for Leicester at 2-1 up here, the Foxes. Luke Thomas picks it up left-hand side, moving into the Stoke half, fires it into the feet of Mavididi, who did well to control it under pressure from 3 Stoke players. Now Harry Winks, just to the left of the centre circle, being pressurised by Baijun Ho, whose goal got Stoke back in this game early in the second half. We're approaching the hour mark on your home with the EFL. Talksport 2 with a Sheffield derby to come tomorrow, live here on Talksport 2 from 11:45, kick-off at noon. Leicester give the ball away. Manhoof trying to make strides into the Stoke half, completely sells Oliver Skipp and runs past him. Still has it, Manhoof, into the area, right-hand corner, tries to clip it to the far post for Sorba Thomas, but too much club on it for Millian Manhoof, and it just trickles out of play on this near side for what will be a Leicester City throw. Leicester 2, Stoke 1, but it is very tense around King Power Stadium, Perry Groves.
Yeah, very much, Dan, say because of Leicester City, how poor they've been at home here this season in the Championship. The last one was against your Birmingham City back in August. Just looking there from Stoke's point of view, just see Mark Robbins, the Stoke City manager, in the technical area getting frustrated because Manhoof did really well initially down that right hand side, and all he's got to do is pick out the right weighted pass to Sorba Thomas, and you said there he just overclubbed it completely. Ball's going out of play, and then the momentum that Stoke have just sort of dies down a little bit.
It's going to be changes for Stoke. Tatsuki Seko is going to be coming on, I think, in the midfield for Stoke at the next break in play. Eastleigh 0, Hartlepool 2 now. Pools have a second through Nathan Sherrin. Stoke City in possession, an hour gone on Talksport 2. Here is Baijun Ho, who's pulled by Harry Winks. That's going to be another yellow card for a Leicester player. Third of the game after Mavididi and Skipp. Winks now finds his way into the referee's notebook. Free kick Stoke, 2-1 Leicester lead.
Good play from Baijun Ho, get himself on the half turn. I'm just looking from Mate Cifuentes, the Leicester City manager. I'll be amazed because Harry Winks and Oliver Skipp have both been booked, Dance. They're both obviously the holding midfield players there. So you've got Hamza Chowdhury on the bench for Leicester City. I'll be amazed if Cifuentes doesn't take at least one of them off, because one more foul, Leicester go down to 10 men.
Well, they've got a free kick to defend here, Leicester. Midway point of the Leicester half on Stoke's left-hand side. Sorba Thomas and Aaron Cresswell are stood over it. Thomas will deliver it into the area. Up go the heads, flicked on, and Begovic can watch it go wide of his post. He had it covered, and it ends up being a goal kick for Leicester. And Tatsuki Seko is now going to come on. A defensive midfielder. Now, is this for Pearson or Rigo, perhaps? Because Rigo hasn't had much football for Stoke City since his move from Banik Ostrava, and indeed it is Tomas Rigo who makes way for Tatsuki Seko. who's made 45 appearances for Stoke, moved from Kawasaki last year. He hasn't scored for his club either. Ethan Wheatley on loan from Manchester United's equalised for Northampton against Cardiff. That's 1-1 at Sixfields. FC Halifax Town 2-0 up on Solihull Moors now in the National League. And Fleetwood 2-0 up on Shrewsbury in League 2. No winning 3 for the Cod Army, but Lewis McCann puts them 2 up at Highbury. Here on Talksport 2, we're at the King Power Stadium with 62 minutes played. Leicester City 2-0 up at half-time, but an early goal back at the start of the second has given Stoke City a bit of hope as they look to avoid back-to-back defeats. But Leicester, remember, haven't managed back-to-back wins since August. Desperate to try and get back within striking distance of the team that visit King Power today. Here's Harry Winks, clips the ball neatly up to Luke Thomas on halfway. He can bring the ball into his stride and slide it out to Mavididi. Going to have a run at Chamadou here. Left-hand corner of the area. Steffi Mavididi tries a few step-overs, tries to run through both him and Seko, but they clear it away, but then given away by Stoke City. And Mark Robbins almost sank to his knees as Stoke gave the ball up. Now it's with Harry Winks, just in front of the halfway line for Stoke.
Seko did really with their dance because Chamadou was 1v1 with Mavididi. Mavididi did about 15 foot overs, so just trying to get Chamadou off balance as he cut inside. Seko just made sure that he got back, just got his toe in, but Leicester have managed to recycle the ball.
Poor touch from Luke Thomas, and Manhoof won it off him and then just got dragged to the ground as he reached halfway by Luke Thomas. And Stoke take the free kick quickly. Barjin-Ho pokes it through to Mabama, trying to run at the two centre halves. He goes down. No foul. Might break for Sorba Thomas. But then the referee has indeed blown for the free kick. He allowed advantage to play for a moment as he thought Sorba Thomas would get onto the loose ball. A yellow card for Yannick Vestergaard for the challenge on Divine Mabama about 30 yards from goal. It's going to be a free kick to Stoke City. Derby have a second against Watford. Sondre Langas, and Wolves 0, Crystal Palace 1. Daniel Munoz. Palace scores at Molineux. Welcome back to Premier League management, Rob Edwards. So free kick here. Colchester lead, by the way, Perry, you want to know this. Notts County 1, Colchester 2. Micah and Bick puts the U's in front.
Well, Notts County are unbeaten the last 11 at home against Colchester in the league. Goes back.
So a free kick here for Stoke City. Manhoof is placing the ball down very deliberately. He fancies this. It's to the left of centre. Pearson there as well, Cresswell and Sorba Thomas. They're all chatting about who's going to strike this one. And Leicester's wall is already arranged about 15 yards from goal.
It's like a Masons meeting, isn't it, round the board at the minute? There's 4 Stoke City players.
Big old chat.
Fancies his chance, obviously, with his left foot. You've got Cresswell there as well. Seko's got himself involved.
Well, Cresswell had that free kick in the first half that skimmed the top of the net on its way over the bar. He may well have ceded responsibility to Millian Manhoof here. It's got to be Manhoof, because the way he's addressing the ball and very deliberately placing his left foot under the ball before he steps back from it.
You just see Ben Pearson, he's on the end of the wall being marked by Oliver Skipp, just trying to be the nuisance. The referee Matt Donoghue just saying to Ben Pearson that don't get involved on the edge of the wall, because if you commit a foul then I'll blow up. So Ben Pearson's got to be disciplined.
Manhoof with this free kick then for Stoke City, 25 yards from goal, left-footed around, hits the wall, hits Vestergaard I think, and drifts out towards those Stoke fans in the northeast corner. Thomas can't keep it in play. Throw for Stoke. Sutton United go 2-0 up at Truro City in the National League. Hibs 2-0 up against Dundee in the Scottish Premiership, and Ethan Wheatley, having scored the equaliser for Northampton, has now put through his own net, and Cardiff are back in front at Sixfields. Is that another yellow card?
Yep,
for Luke Thomas. So that's 5 Leicester players with yellow cards, none so far for Stoke City. We've now got a long throw that's going to be hurled into the box by Junior Chamadou. From right in front of those Stoke fans in the northeast corner. Gets good distance on it, into the near post. It's headed out by Daka for Leicester. Retrieved though by Seka, tries to sort of guide it over his shoulder out to Chamadou, kept in place somehow by Leicester, and then it's clipped down the right-hand side of the Leicester box, and Thomas with a slightly awkward clearance gets it half away for the hosts, but Seko will let the ball run out of play, so Stoke get a throw. Dundee United nil, Falkirk 3 in the Scottish Premiership now. Just one defeat in 6 before today for the Bairns, and Brian Graham's got their third. So Stoke 2-1 down, approaching the midway point of the second half. Have possession with Millian Manhoef, weaving his way down the right-hand side into the area. Looks to find a shot on goal that goes well over the bar in the end from Millian Manhoef. He was trickling his way into the area, looking to find that half a yard of space, and when he thought he found it, got the shot away, but got right underneath it. Goal kick to Leicester, who still lead by 2-1.
Yeah, again, it's just that end product frustrating for Mark Robins, the Stoke City manager. Manhoef does brilliantly, gets away from Mavididi, then just cuts in on his left foot, spins Luke Thomas all the way round 360 degrees, and then he's just trying to bend it with his left foot inside Begovic's right hand post. He's just got himself underneath it and put the ball over the crossbar.
So, Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. Stoke City coming forward. Seko finds Mubama. Midway point of the Leicester half. Plenty of blue shirts in front of him. Rolls it left for Baijonho. Early pass for Sorba. Thomas left-hand corner of the area. Puts the cross into the box. Headed up and out by Vestergaard. Can Mavididi get there first? He can. Toe pokes it round Chamadou and tries to launch a counter-attack for Leicester City. Lovely ball to release Jordan James, who's away into the area right-hand side. Heavy touch. Angles tightening. Pulls it across and can't find Daka. But it will break for Mavididi. Left-hand side for Leicester. They're still coming forward. Winks calling for it. 25 yards out. It's rolled back to him. Now Fatawu lays it off for Ricardo Pereira. Jordan James tries to drill it in from the right-hand side, but it's blocked by Sorba Thomas. And Jordan James will have it again. Knocks it in field for Winks. And it was James who was clear, but couldn't get the shot away. He's now going for a pass down the right-hand side of the box. It's overcooked. Out of play. Goal kick Stoke City. Super pass from Mavididi to find Jordan James running through the middle, but I think that first touch let him down in the end. Perry Groves, 2-1 Leicester.
Yeah, James born of frustration because it's a really good run, found himself in his centre forward position, as you said, brilliantly found by Mavididi. And that first touch dance, not only is it too heavy, it's actually too straight. If his first touch takes it diagonally, then he has a better angle for himself, where he finds himself one-on-one with Johansson. And in the end, say he's just at a heavy touch and he just tried to cross it across the 6-yard box, and the ball breaks down. So I think that's going to be the pattern of the game, Dance, coming at the last 20 minutes. I think Leicester will sit a little bit deeper, obviously, because the nerves and the tension will come into the stadium, because they haven't been very good here at the King Power in the Championship. Stoke are the ones that are dominating possession. It's whether Stoke can just find that little bit of creativity or that final pass.
Thoughts of Perry Groves on Talksport 2 as Mavididi gets away down the left-hand side for Leicester. Into the area left-hand side, tries to get away from Pearson, rolls it back to Skip. Now Fatawu takes over, left-footed shot, drags it well wide. Goal kick to Stoke City as we have just over 20 minutes to go. Palace have a second at Wolves in the Premier League. Jeremy Pino makes it Wolves 0, Crystal Palace 2. And it's a great game here. It's a good game at the Loftus as well. QPR now 3-2 up against Hull. I think they're in front for the first time in the game. Ruman Burrell with QPR's third. They lead 3-2 against Hull City. And Bournemouth have just got themselves a penalty to get back into it at home to West Ham. Callum Wilson got both Bournemouth goals. 2-1 here as well to Leicester City. Good ball from Seko to find Chamadou, who's making a strong run. Slides it into the path of Manhoef. Across the face of goal. Good ball, but nobody had gambled for Stoke. They'd all held back, and the ball just goes behind for a Leicester goal kick. Stays 2-1 to the Foxes.
We can just see Chamadou getting frustrated because it's a really good ball from Chamadou initially to Manhoef. Then Manhoef actually picks out the right pass, just rolls it in between the 6-yard box and the penalty spot. And the Stoke City players and Stoke City fans are looking for Mubama just to make sure he gets in between the posts. And because he's come to join in with the build-up play, he's on the edge of the 18-yard box. So he's got to make sure that he makes more of an effort to get in between the posts. Then it's a tap-in.
Well, here comes the defensive midfield change that you predicted. Oliver Skip is the player that's being withdrawn. He's one of the two central midfielders on a yellow card for Leicester City. So Boubacar Soumare is coming on to replace him. Crew 2, Chesterfield 3. Dylan Markande wants a Spurs, puts Chesterfield 3-2 up at Gresty Road. Barnsley 4-0 up on Luton now. Gideon Kadua with the fourth for Barnsley. That's an own goal. AFC Wimbledon take the lead against Wigan. Ali Smith makes it 1-0 to the Dons, and Watford have a goal back at Derby. Derby 2, Watford 1 in the Championship. Luka Kurungo gets Watford back in it against their former player John Eustace and his Derby team. So Sumare on for skip, and we've got 18.5 minutes to go on Talksport 2. Can Leicester hang on here for 3 precious points and back-to-back wins that they've not achieved since August?
And can Stoke City craft the equaliser? It's not a surprise that Samare's come on, Dan said, because obviously Winks and Skip had both been booked, and Marty Cifuentes, the Leicester manager, knows that Leicester will probably be under pressure in its last 17 minutes, so he needs his 2 centre midfield players to be at it. Obviously Samara give him fresh legs, and he's just got to make sure that Harry Winks doesn't go and make any silly or rash challenges either, because obviously he's on the booking.
Don't forget, we've got the Sheffield Derby live here on Talksport 2 tomorrow at midday. Our coverage starts at 11:30 with our exclusive national radio commentary of the Steel City Derby. Then we've got 3 NFL games for you as Sunday becomes Monday. From 5 o'clock, we've got the Jets against Ravens, Jaguars against the Cardinals, and then early hours of Sunday morning, the Rams, and the early hours of Monday morning, Rams against Buccaneers. Back-to-back-to-back NFL games, Sunday night to Monday morning for you here on Talksport 2. Here on the halfway line for Leicester City is Boubakary Soumaré, just freshly on as a substitute. Rolls it back to Vestergaard. Plays the ball across the line to Fass. Short 1-2 with Winks. Soumaré again finds Winks. Quick ball up to halfway. Held up well by Daka, but good strength from Ashley Phillips to take it off him. Baijun Ho turns and gets clipped by Ricardo Pereira. Free kick to Stoke City, midway point of the Leicester half, but Leicester still lead 2-1 on Talksport 2.
Yeah, Patson Daka's got to be a lot stronger when the ball comes into him. He holds it up, because Phillips does really well. Just
Stoke players were calling for another yellow card there against Ricardo Pereira, which was not issued.
It was a really good turn actually from Baijun Ho. Got himself on the half turn, little Cruyff flick. Ricardo Pereira just went for it. And I think the frustration was because it was such a great turn from Baijun Ho. You had Sorba Thomas obviously on this left-hand side. He was free.
So a free kick for Stoke, midway point of the Leicester half, to the left of centre. Sorba Thomas is going to allow Cresswell to dink this ball into the box. Up go the heads. Fast gets the header clear. Manhoof will run out to that far right-hand side to collect it for Stoke. Pearson knocks it back into the centre of the half for Shamadou. Back out to Ben Pearson on the right-hand side. Early ball infield for Cresswell, just in front of the centre circle. He chips it to the left-hand side of the box looking for Thomas, but it's over Sorba Thomas's head and behind for a goal kick. Crewe 3, Chesterfield 3. Great game at Gresty Road. James Connolly equalises for Crewe, and Cheltenham lead Bristol Rovers. Back-to-back losses for Cheltenham, but Jonathan Tompkinson's given them the lead in, well, that's something of a local derby at Wadden Road. And Brighton have got an equaliser against Brentford. That's 1-1 in the Premier League. So Bournemouth 1, West Ham 2, Brighton 1, Brentford 1, Fulham and Sunderland still 0-0, Liverpool still 2-0 down at home to Nottingham Forest, and Wolves 2-0 down at home to Crystal Palace. Leicester still 2-1 up here. Claims for a foul against Patson Daka not given by the referee. You can hear the groans of discontentment around us here from the home fans. Quarter of an hour to go on Talksport 2. Your home of the EFL. And Ben Wilmot is just holding his face. I don't know whether he feels he's got a whack in the mouth or something, but I don't think it's drawn blood.
Well, he got elbowed. I don't think it's an elbow. It might have been a flailing arm. Just as the ball drops out of the air.
Yeah, Daka just caught him inadvertently, nothing deliberate. So into the last quarter of an hour, Perry. There is no certainty about the 3 points for Leicester quite yet, but despite all that, Asmir Begovic has only had that one save to make since the goal that Baijun Ho got, which was that brilliant one-handed stop to deny Manhoof when he was through on goal. It was Danny Welbeck, incidentally, that got that equaliser for Brighton against Brentford at the Amex. That's 1-1. Here is Stoke trying to come forward with Manhoof. It's well defended by Luke Thomas, but Phillips keeps the ball in play and he's clipped by Daka. Free kick to Stoke, just shy of the halfway line. No further changes imminent, it would seem, from either manager just yet. Still plenty of players warming up down to our left-hand side. Fleetwood 3, Shrewsbury 0. Matty Virtue gets the third for the Shrews. For Fleetwood, rather, should I say, against the Shrews. And FC Halifax Town also 3-0 up against Solihull Moors in the National League.
Where do you see Leicester City just dropping back into that? Now it's like a 4-5-1. Jordan James just dropped a little bit deep up, whereas in the first half they were defending 4-4-2. So the back four are nice and narrow for Leicester City.
Here's Pearson for Stoke. Diagonal ball into out, looking for Shamadou, right-hand side. Heads it down for Manhoof. He's made a run down the right-hand side of the box. Held up by Mavadidi. Manhoof still has it. Right-hand corner of the area. Clips it into the box. Over the head of Mubama. Leicester make a bit of a hash of the clearance. Don't quite get it up to halfway. Brought down by Shamadou. Little back heel trying to get Manhoof back into the game. He might still get it. Shamadou now has it. Right-hand corner of the area. Drives for the byline. Pull the ball back into the area, but can only find Winks. Now it's Seko with the ball back into the box, but straight into the grateful arms of Asmir Begovic, who calmly collects it and trots out to the edge of his area. Leicester 2, Stoke 1.
Yeah, just a really poor delivery from Seko. Stoke just trying to exert a little bit of pressure. You can hear the frustration from Leicester City fans because Leicester can't keep the ball at the moment.
No, they've lost it again. Cresswell slides it out to Sorba Thomas on this near side, the Stoke left, as they attack the north stand end in this second half, the visitors. Cresswell has it given back to him by Sorba Thomas. Now the Welshman again with Ricardo Pereira at his back. So it goes back to halfway for Stoke, and Pearson swings it from left to inside right for Ashley Phillips. Now Shamadou takes over. Bit of a meeting between Marty Cifuentes and his coaching staff. Maybe some changes might be forthcoming for the host to try and protect this 2-1 lead that they have with 12 minutes to go. Cresswell for Stoke slides it down the left-hand side of the box for Sorba Thomas. Good sliding challenge from Fatawu, but it does mean that it's a corner kick for Stoke City at the north stand end. 2-1 Leicester.
Yeah, good play from Stoke down their left-hand side. Aaron Cresswell just easing it down that left-hand corridor for Sorba Thomas, who'd gone into the inside left position. To be fair to Fatawu, good defensive play from him, tracking his runner, just slides in, corner for Stoke on their left-hand side.
Reading 1, Rotherham 1. Charlie Savage, son of Robbery, equalises for Reading, and Mill will have a goal back at Portsmouth. Pompey 2, Millwall 1, Mihailo Ivanovic. Corner for Stoke City, down to our left-hand side. Right-footed in-swinger from Sorba Thomas. In it comes now, deep to the far post. Begovic gets a hand to it, and he was being fouled as he got the hand to it. Spotted by the referee, Matt Donoghue. Leicester have a free kick, and they lead 2-1 still on Talksport 2.
That's exactly what we want from your goalkeeper. We were saying about, experienced goalkeepers. It was a good delivery from Sorba Thomas, just in-swing with his right foot, just trying to put it underneath the crossbar. I think it was Seko just got himself involved with Begovic, and then it looked like Philip just got a little bit late with his sort of left forearm, knocked Begovic to the floor. Quite rightly, referee Matt Donoghue gives a free kick.
The leaders of League One back level at Wickham. Wickham 2, Lincoln 2. Freddie Draper with the second for the Imps, and Oldham are 2-0 up on Newport in League 2. Joe Quigley with the second for the Latics, and York in the National League 3-2 up at Brackley now in a seesaw game just off the M40. Ollie Pearce with the third, and Wigan have equalised to AFC Wimbledon. That's 1-1 in League 1. Harrison Bertoni. 2-1 here to Leicester. Stoke win a free kick which Manhoof wanted to take quickly just inside the Stoke half of the field, but by the time he was ready to take it, Leicester had got everybody goal side. Wilmot slides it out to Cresswell on this near side, the Stoke left. Everything to his right, knocks it backwards a square to Wilmot. Back into the centre circle for Phillips. Wilmot has it once more. Again, Cresswell is the intended recipient on this near side, the left, but he's being forced back to halfway by Abdul Fatawu.
Just looking at Harry Winks dance with Baijun Ho, just following him everywhere. Every time Stoke's in possession, you just see Harry Winks look over his left shoulder, look over his right shoulder to see where Bai Jun-ho is, because he knows that he's the one with the capabilities.
Thomas away down the left-hand side for Stoke, crosses into the box fast, only clears as far as Bai Jun-ho, and the shot tipped over superbly by Begovic for a Stoke corner. Just dropped for the Korean at the edge of the box. He got away from Winks, struck it well. Good save, Begovic. Corner Stoke, 2-1 Leicester.
Brilliant technique from Bai Jun-ho, just as the ball drops onto the edge of the 18-yard box, gets his right foot and his right knee over the top of the ball, goes straight down the throat of Begovic. Good touch over from the Leicester City goalkeeper. Corner for Stoke City on their left-hand side.
Making his 450th club appearance today, Asmir Begovic, 38 years young. He's got some more defending to do as Sorba Thomas takes this corner kick for Stoke City. Right-footed in swinger, very deep to the far post. That's gone out, has it? It has, before Ben Wilmot got anywhere near getting his head to it. So a goal kick is the result for Leicester City, and we're into the last 8 minutes, and there's a double change coming up for Leicester. There's going to be another Thomas on the pitch.
You're not doubting Thomas, are you?
Silko Thomas is coming on, and so is Bobby Decordova-Reid, and Harry Winks is one of those coming off. So that's another pair of the defensive midfielders who were booked in the game being taken off. So Silko Thomas, back from a loan from Wigan last season, and Mavididi, the other player, coming off for Leicester. So Mavididi and Winks off, Silko Thomas and Decordova-Reid on. Perry Groves.
Yeah, I thought it's a bit of a surprise with the Harry Winks one, Dance, because I know he's been booked, but he's experienced. He was the one who was linking and making sure that he got around Bai Jun-ho with Stoke trying to get the build-up play, and he was the one going to get the ball off of Begovic when Leicester was trying to get out. So that's a bit of a surprise.
Barnsley 5, Luton 0. Davis Keeler done with Barnsley's 5th, and MK Dons get a goal back at Tranmere. Tranmere 2, MK Dons 1, John Mellish. And it's now 3-0 to Nottingham Forest at Anfield in the Premier League. Morgan Gibbs-White. Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 3.
Talksport Sean Dyche weaving his magic.
Jordan James trying to weave his magic just over halfway for Leicester. Plays it out to the left-hand side for Silko Thomas. Can't get away from Shamadou. And then Bai Jun-ho. Oh, lovely drag back to keep it away from Jordan James. Tries to play it up to halfway for Manhoof, but it's one back. Bournemouth have equalised against West Ham as well. It's 2-2 now. Enes Unal making it Bournemouth 2, West Ham 2. Remember, West Ham were 2 up through goals from former Bournemouth man Callum Wilson. That fast for Leicester City.
Just looking at Leicester, Dance, Jordan James will drop back alongside Samare and play as one of the holding midfield players. Obviously, he's been in the 10 position. Decordova-Reid will come out on this right-hand side, and Silko Thomas will go out on the left-hand side.
Don't forget the game day phone in at 5:30 on Talksport with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Jason will be cock-a-hoop because Chelsea won again 2-0 at lunchtime. You heard it live on Talksport at Burnley. Jamie will be nervous as a kitten about the North London derby tomorrow.
Aren't we all, Dance? Aren't we all?
Which will feature as part of Game Day Live with Perry Groves along with Sam Matterface and the team from 1:30 tomorrow on Talksport. Whilst we have the Steel City derby on Talksport 2. MK Dons have brought themselves level at Tranmere. Kane Thompson-Summers makes it Tranmere 2, MK 2. Here's Manhoof for Stoke, looking for an equaliser. They're 2-1 down Stoke, and with just over 5 minutes of normal time to play. Can Leicester hang on? Bai Jun-ho backheels it to the path of Shamadou. Down the right-hand side of the box, tries to clip the ball into the area, and it's come off the back of Luke Thomas for a Stoke corner right in front of those 3,000 Stoke fans who believe that an equaliser is coming.
Yeah, it's just Leicester City starting to sit deeper and deeper. You can hear the Stoke City fans over in that far corner behind Begovic's goal for Leicester City. Cresswell will take the corner over that right-hand side.
Left-footed in-swinger. Phillips and Bai Jun-ho again have gone beyond the far post. Mubama and Wilmot around the penalty spot. In it comes from Cresswell. Up goes Begovic, gets his left hand to it, pulls it away. But Sorba Thomas will retrieve it for Stoke. Puts it back into the mixer. Phillips with a flick on, and it lands on the roof of the net. Just got too much on it almost. Did Ashley Phillips. And it goes behind for a goal kick. And an offside flag's gone up anyway. So Leicester will try and get the ball downfield, but they'll take their time over this. Gateshead 0, Boreham Wood 2. Zach Brunt for Boreham Wood, and Rangers are in front against Livingston. That's 2-1. Mohamed Diomande puts them back ahead at Ibrox. Time running out here. 4 minutes of normal time to go. Leicester desperate to get within striking distance of those in the playoffs. And if it stays like this, then Leicester would stay somewhere down. Well, they'd be in the 11th basically, but they would only be 2 points off Derby, who are currently occupying the final playoff spot by virtue of their 2-1 win that they're getting against Watford. Stoke would drop to, well, they would stay third, but they would drop points here obviously and go 3 points behind Middlesbrough, who play Coventry on Tuesday night. That's live on Talksport 2 up at the Riverside. Jordan James for Leicester chips the ball out to Abdul Fattawu, right hand side, faced up by Sorba Thomas, cuts in field but runs into the path of Ben Pearson, who won it legitimately, and away comes Stoke City on the counter attack. Fattawu stayed down. Here's Sorba Thomas up against Boubakary Soumaré, trying to weave his way in between Wout Faes and Soumaré, couldn't do so. As Fulham take the lead against Sunderland in the Premier League late on at Craven Cottage. Raul Jimenez, Fulham 1, Sunderland 0. Abdul Fattawu only now just very slowly sitting up. Bit of cramp, I think, for the Fulham number 7, but play continues around him. Stoke in possession. 2-1 down, though, the Potters. AFC Wimbledon 1, Wigan 2. Another for Harrison Bertoni, putting Wigan in front. They were behind. Stoke City in possession with Chamadou right hand side. Manhoof trying to wriggle away from the attentions of Luke Thomas, looking for Mubama, but Stoke get it half clear. It's back with Chamadou, lays it off to Manhoof. Offside flag goes up. Leicester will get a free kick, and presumably Abdul Fattawu will now get some attention as he's still, well, he's lying down flat on his back now inside the Stoke City half of the field. 2-1 Leicester, 2 minutes of normal time to go, Perry Groves.
Yeah, you just say you can feel the tension in the stadium here, because the Leicester City fans realise what a massive win this would be for Leicester City. If they win this, we said about, the craziness of the Championship, they'll only be 3 points behind Stoke City in the table.
Yep.
And you have to say, Dance, we said, about having experienced players and, taking responsibility. Agmir Begovic in Leicester City's goal has been absolutely outstanding. He's pulled off a worldy save at the beginning of the second half from Manhoof when he run through, and he's put a big left hand to it. And every time the ball's come in, whether it's crosses or from corners, he's taken responsibility, and he's had 4 or 5 punches where he's punched it clear. And if you're the centre-halves, Vestergaard and Wout Faes, that's exactly what you want to see. You want to see your goalkeeper, good communication, and just coming out and negating the danger. And now it's whether, coming up to the 89th minute, whether Stoke City can show that little bit of quality, which they did at the beginning of this second half when Baijin Ho obviously got his headed goal to put them right back in the game at 2-1.
2-1 here, 2-1 at the Amex as well in the Premier League. Brighton have turned it around. Jack Hinshelwood making it Brighton 2, Brentford 1. Now Fattawu's back on the near touchline, but will have to wait that regulation 30 seconds before he can come back on. Southend 3-0 up against Altrincham. Hamza Chowdhury's going to be on shortly for Leicester City as we edge towards added time here at King Power Stadium on Talksport 2. Free kick awarded for a high boot from Ashley Phillips on Patson Daka. And so Leicester can eat up a few more seconds. Is it Chowdhury coming on for Fattawu? No, Fattawu's come back onto the field, so Chowdhury presumably coming on for somebody else. But that will be a little while yet, because Leicester are happy to take the free kick now. James clips it down the left-hand side for Silko Thomas, faced up by Chamadou, rolls it back to James, level with the 18-yard line, drifts in field for the right-hand side, clips it to the far post, taken down on the chest of Fattawu, but has to run out to this near touchline, can't keep it in play. Oh, and then Cresswell slides in very strongly, and Fattawu, after the ball had gone out of play. We've gone to 5 minutes of added time, but that was pretty agricultural challenge from Cresswell, and players from both sides squaring up to one another. And what's the referee going to do here?
You know, Dan, it's really strange because as the ball came in from Jordan James on the left-hand side, Fatawu is unmarked on the right-hand side, and I thought he would take it down on his chest and get a volley away, and he took it down his chest and turned around and ran towards, obviously, the touchline. So the ball went out of play, actually, and Aaron Cresswell, that's the old reduce-up where, you know, you're going to take the man and the ball.
Well, it is Fatawu who's going to come off eventually so that Hamza Chowdhury can come on. So we're into that 5 minutes of minimum stoppage time. We've had a minute already gone, so Fatawu's done his job today. Down the Leicester right-hand side there, they can taste the 3 points now, the Foxes.
Yeah, he's done his job defensively as well, Dan, to be fair. Obviously, he's got his assist for Patson Daka's goal, what put Leicester 2-0 up.
Wickham are back in front against the League One leaders, Lincoln. 3-2 to the Chairboys. Jack Grimmer and Cambridge have a second at Barrow, another one for Pelly Rudder-Kampanzu. Here comes Stoke with Shamadou playing the ball into the area, headed out, and then Chowdhury has to concede a corner as it was headed against him inadvertently by Ricardo Pereira. And Stoke, they're sending the goalkeeper forward. Victor Johansson, once of Leicester, is going forward from the Stoke City goal for this corner kick.
He can't do, can he, Dance? He can't do.
Well, Begovic has scored a goal for Stoke City in his career at the Bet365 Stadium. Sorba Thomas with this corner. Everybody apart from Shamadou forward for Stoke. In it comes, up go the heads, and it's headed over the bar by a Leicester defender. Vestergaard got there first. It's another corner for Stoke City. And now there's a bit of a push and shove inside the 6-yard box. And Divine Mubama's at the centre of it this time. And the referee's got a bit more clearing up to do. It's all getting a bit silly out there, but it will be another Stoke City corner once this is all sorted out. 2-1 Leicester.
Yeah, the referee Matt Donoghue just walking away. As you said, there's all a bit of silliness going on. You know that there's going to be physicality. It was a brilliant defensive header from Vestergaard at the near post. Just make sure, said Leicester going zone across that 6-yard box. When it comes into your zone, you've got to make sure you get your head on the ball first.
Well, it was Begovic and Mubama who were getting into a bit of a tussle, and that's why Asmir Begovic has been called over by the referee for a bit of a chat. And I think that may well be all that it is for the veteran. Mubama also been called over, and I think the referee's just going to say, cut it out, lads, and no further cards will be issued.
Being silly boys, that's what it will be.
So, at the end of it all, it will be a corner kick to Stoke City from this near side, the northwest corner. In fact, it's been told to go over to the other side to take it. We played 3.5 minutes of the minimum 5 that have been added. Sorba Thomas had got it spotted in the wrong quadrant, should have been on the other side of the field. Oldham 3, Newport 0. Late goal for Josh Hawke seals the points for the Latics in League 2. Leicester 2, Stoke 1. Into the last minute of added time we go. Stoke have a corner at the north stand end. Cresswell swings it in. Johansson, the goalkeeper, went up for the header, couldn't win it. Phillips nods it down. Where's that going to break? It breaks for Cresswell and tries to drive it in, but the flag's gone up against Aaron Cresswell. It's a free kick to Leicester City, and Victor Johansson has to trot back to his own penalty area. 2-1 Leicester.
Yeah, it's a poor delivery from that right-hand side from Aaron Cresswell. Normally his corners and set piece have been really good. You've got to make sure you miss the first man. That's Patson Daka at the near post. He doesn't. It's a really good header from Patson Daka. Gets it clear, and then when Stoke then recycle the ball, obviously Aaron Cresswell's coming back from an offside position, having taken the corner. So Agamir Begovic will be in no hurry, the Leicester City goalkeeper, to take this free kick.
Well, the 5 minutes is almost up. There might be a bit more to add on from the referee from the minimum 5. Begovic smacks it right-footed deep into the Stoke half. Phillips gets the header clear. Daka couldn't get the better of him. Ben Pearson tries to lob it clear. Comes off the back of Patson Daka, who, as things stand, is the winning goal scorer for Leicester City this afternoon. And it's a long time since we've said that about Patson Daka.
Was it last December you said?
December against West Ham. Throw in for Stoke. The 5 minutes are up. It's now down to the referee as to how much more is added on. Johansson clips the ball into the path of Cresswell. He's just going to hit it long. A Hail Mary hit downfield from Aaron Cresswell. Vestergaard gets a strong header clear for Leicester. Good, like a push by Ben Pearson on halfway. Cresswell has it on halfway once again. thinks about a diagonal ball in field. In it goes, up to the edge of the area. Begovic should make this and claims it comfortably. Falls to the ground. Huge roar around the stadium. They've nearly done it, Leicester City.
Yeah, it's just too lofted there from Aaron Questel, just trying to get the ball into the 18-yard box, create a bit of pressure. So Amir Begovic, the Leicester City goalkeeper, just making sure. You can hear the big shout from here to Vestergaard and Wout Faes that the goalkeeper's coming. Exactly what he did. Just plucked it out of the air.
Portsmouth 3, Millwall 1. Jordan Williams seals the points for Pompey at Fratton Park after no win in 6. That's a welcome return to form for them. Referee blows his whistle and Begovic will smack this right-footed clearance downfield, and that may well be that. No, still we play on. It's been hit straight out of play by Begovic, so Stoke are going to try and get on with it with the throw. Northampton 1, Cardiff 3, Chris Willock. And there goes the full-time whistle, and that is back-to-back wins for the first time since August for Leicester City. And that condemns Stoke City to back-to-back defeats and takes the Foxes to within 3 points of their opponents this afternoon. They were 2-0 up at half-time. Steffi Mavididi with a classy opener midway through the first half, and then Patson Daka with his first goal since December, just before the break. Stoke got back into it early after the restart through Bai Jun-ho's header. Manhoef denied brilliantly by Begovic in the Leicester goal when Stoke threatened an equaliser, but the Foxes clung on. That's a big win for Marti Cifuentes to follow up the win on the other side of the international break that they got at Norwich City. Full time at the King Power Stadium. Leicester City 2, Stoke City 1.
Well, just when your club needs an injection of positivity, exactly what you want in front of your home fans is a win. 3 points, tastes so sweet. Back-to-back wins for Leicester City. Is this a chance of a springboard for Marti Cifuentes, Perry?
Well, it gives you a platform, Hugh, does it, to be fair? If I'm being honest, you've watched the game, Hugh, it wasn't like a brilliant performance from Leicester City, but if you're not going to play well, sometimes you have to sort of win ugly, and that's exactly what they did today. Stoke City were probably the better side, you know, in general play, created the more chances, had the most shots and most shots on target, but where it really mattered, in both penalty boxes, Leicester City came out on top.
Absolutely brilliant for them this afternoon. Second half obviously wasn't vintage. I guess the only question mark after that is, of course, why Stoke weren't able to get more of a grasp of the game in the second hand to get themselves the goal that they needed. Obviously they got one through Jun Buhao, but excuse me, go ahead, Barry.
Bai Jun-ho.
Bai Jun-ho, exactly. They managed to get the goal in the second half, but they didn't get the second. Why was that? I
mentioned in the first half, I think there was just that sort of lack of quality in the final third. The one big bit of quality that Stoke had was when Bai Jun-ho scored, because when it came out to Chamadou on the right-hand side, he put the right cross in, and Phillips was a really clever header, got the first contact, put it back across the 18-yard box, and Bai Jun-ho ghosting in at the far post. It was really poor defending from Daka and Wout Faes. Headed the ball down past Begovic, got Stoke back into the game. Obviously they're only 2-1 down, and then they huffed and puffed, you know, they got the ball into wide areas, but say that final ball wasn't particularly good. But to be fair, I mentioned about when you're going to be under pressure, you want your senior players to take responsibility. In the second half, I think Harry Winks did for Leicester. You know, he got himself on the ball, he tried to man mark Bai Jun-ho to stop him, you know, having an influence. Begovic was outstanding, because every time the ball came in, whether it for a corner or for a cross, he made sure he came and punched it clear. And he had two outstanding saves. One was from Manhoef, where he's 1v1, big left hand, tips it over the crossbar. And Bai Jun-ho had a really good volley, got his right foot over the top of the ball again, tipped over the crossbar by Begovic. And Vestergaard and Wout Faes stood up and were counted in that second half. So there was a lot of sort of battling, gritty performances from Leicester City. And Marti Cifuentes, the Leicester City manager, Hugh will be absolutely delighted, because he knows how difficult this Stoke City side are to play when you're at home against them.
the big thing, I guess the big takeaway from this afternoon's events is that Stoke City being beaten, currently Middlesbrough being held. It means that currently it's a 10-point gap for Coventry City, who came from 2 down to beat West Brom, over third place. 10 points clear in terms of the race for automatic promotion, and 7 points clear of second in the race for the title. It's going to be near on impossible to stop Coventry City in the form that they're in from going to the Premier League.
Yeah, well, I think things have gone their way today, Hugh. Obviously, in the earlier game, they were struggling. They were 2-1 down, and Malumbu gets sent off. Obviously, West Brom go down to 10 men, and Coventry end up winning the game. But again, Coventry didn't play particularly well today, but they've made sure they've won. As you said there, they're 7 points clear at the top of the table. So you want your destiny in your own hands, exactly what Coventry have got. If you look at Stoke City, they're still in third position on 27 points. And we said about Leicester, they've moved up the table into 10th. They're only 3 points behind Stoke City in third. So Leicester have got a big week coming up here, haven't they, with obviously the it starts the inquiry and into the PSR, whether they're going to get a points deduction. People think it could be 3 points, maybe 6 points, but that's out of Martí Cifuentes' hands. He can't do anything about that. He's got to make sure that he gets performances from his Leicester City players. And to say today they weren't particularly easy on the eye. You know, the passing wasn't very fluid, but they stuck in there. You know, they made sure that they matched Stoke on the physicality side, and they had 2 brilliant bits of quality. The first one from Mavididi, a brilliant left-footed shot from just inside the 18-yard box, gave Johansson absolutely no chance in the Stoke City goal. And then Fatawu coming in off the right-hand side, great little slide pass into Daka, and Daka hadn't scored since last December. Waited for Johansson to come out and just dinked it over him. Leicester going 2-0 up at half-time, and they managed to hang on in this second half. So this is a massive, massive win for Leicester City today.
Yep, and they go to Southampton next, who made it 3 wins out of 3 a little bit earlier on today under their interim boss, Tonda Eckert. At Stoke, up next for them is a game against Charlton, who Southampton thumped 5-1 away today. So big games for all clubs, I think, in a very busy week, very busy period across the EFL. Perry Groves, Ian Danta, thank you so much for being with me on another busy day. Remember, over on Talksport, you will get your classified results check